Okay. I'm gonna go to our dashboard. It still says offline, but I think it's just taking a second to catch up. Oh, oh, no. Yep. Keith's mic isn't working, and only my mic is on the stream right now. We don't know why.
Hi.
Hang on. Say something again.
Hello. There we go. No, hello. I figured it out. It's not my fault. If I explained to you what I did wrong, it would sound like I was stupid. But actually, it's not that. It's actually because of OBS. Streamlabs OBS is really weird.
Yeah, I know. OBS blows.
No, it
Oh, no,
doesn't.
yeah, no, it wasn't that. Sorry.
It's just that I am totally unfamiliar with the mixer settings on Streamlabs because I basically never have to use them. And so today, after I had to reinstall Streamlabs because I reinstalled Windows, after I didn't know my microphone was not by default in the audio mixer, so I had to add it, and I just don't know how to do that. And I figured out a way to do it by adding a source to what is usually visual sources for me. But I knew that you could add an audio thing that way because I've seen it in there. I added audio input capture, and it added it to the mixer, but it also added it to the sources, which I'm not familiar with. And so I was like, oh, maybe I can hide it. And so I right clicked and hit hide. And hide doesn't mean get rid of having to see microphone in my visual sources. It just muted it. And so even though I was unmuted in the mixer, I was muted at the source. And so I was like, I'm not muted. I can see that I'm not muted. It's because I was muted somewhere else. And that's why it seems like it was me being an idiot. Keith. But actually, it's Discord being bad.
Keith.
Yeah.
I stopped being able to follow you possibly minutes ago. Should we start the show?
Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, June 15th, with you again for another Snooze Button, our weekly morning show brought to you by Run Button. ContentBurger.biz is our Patreon. You can go there to support the show. With me as always is Kylie Theodora. Hi Kylie, it's
hello.
It's E3 week.
It's E3. It's week 3. It's week. It's week 1. It's the only week of E3, but it's E3 week.
I'm gonna do some ad hoc audio mixing so I can get you louder in my headphones. You ready?
Sure, I think.
Okay.
But
okay.
I have a cold. Just so everyone knows, I have a cold. I might be making some noises. I'm gonna be riding that mute button.
Yeah. Yep.
For that cough, I got it. That cough button.
Oh, you're talking about cough button? You're gonna bring up.
I know button? I usually you don't like when I bring that up, but I will have to be using their services for the show.
That's fine.
Just so that we can get it out there. You know.
Yeah, that's no problem. I get it. I understand. Sometimes it's different audiences. We do different things here at Run Button than we do at Cough Button. So.
That's fine. See, you probably couldn't even tell. I coughed while you were saying that, but you couldn't hear it.
No, I couldn't tell.
And that's exactly. And this is the kind of shit Cuff Button specializes in.
No
It's
COVID.
it's
That's not what
mostly
you've got.
skunk
You've
work.
just got normal cold.
Just a regular old
No, so no one has to be
cold.
worried.
Yeah.
Unless being worried makes you go to contentburger.biz to sign up for our
Yeah.
Patreon. And
Go to
then
contentburger.biz and sign up to pay us. Keith, do you know you know
I know.
Nextlander has a URL that goes to their Patreon. Do you know what their URL is?
Um
Are you fucking ready to hear this?
is it wait, let me guess. Is it hmm I guess I can't even guess. I guess there's so many
It's
options that I couldn't even narrow it down.
And I want to be clear that nobody is allowed to go to this URL after I say it because I'm not trying to advertise to them. I'm trying to call them out for gross misconduct because their Patreon URL is content.town.
Okay, that's old. Is that true? Are they
Excuse
using
me.
content.town?
That's our as if they couldn't have invented one more way to rip us off, Keith.
I mean, it is true that Giant Bomb stealing from Run Button goes back. Giant Bomb and related crew stealing from Run Button goes back years and years at this point. But I will say that content.town is not a Nextlander URL. That is a
What?
Will Smith URL.
What? Oh no! Wait, was I getting confused with
Yeah. You're
Brad
getting
and Will made a tech pod?
Yes, you were.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I know.
they're
I
fine
know that
then.
because I was briefly. I was. I was on the defunct Mastodon that used that, and and so that's how I know from that this is a years old Will Smith URL.
Damn, you're right.
Yeah.
It's because
I don't think not as
I
old
didn't.
as contentburger.biz, but still years old.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
this was the this happened because uh Brad Shoemaker and Will Smith have been doing a tech podcast for like 2 years now.
I can't believe you hadn't
But
heard of it.
well, all I did was listen to the Bombcast, and I don't know if anyone imposed this other than Brad himself, but apparently he felt like he could not plug the tech pod on the Bombcast.
I would bet $1 million that CBS wouldn't allow that.
Okay, well, either way, yeah. So I didn't hear about it till now. So I've been listening to that tech podcast a bunch, and I guess that's what happened.
It's pretty good. It's a good show.
Podcast.
Tech stuff is hard. It's so hard to talk about tech stuff. It's like tech stuff is hard in the same way that video games are, except it's worse.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know what
my
that
opinion.
means.
I mean, it is like for how hard it is to like talk about video games as like an enthusiast product with how bad of an industry it is. It's even harder to do that about tech because it has all of the same issues, but also they like use, rare earth minerals and lithium batteries and stuff like that. It's like it's all the problems that the video game industry has, but it's also like physical products full of extracted materials, where video games are mostly either digital or plastic, which is plastic's bad, but it's not as bad as cobalt.
You got silicon in those machines.
Yeah, but it's one machine per person. It just seems it's not like a phone. Like how many phones have you had since you got like your PS4 or something? I don't know. I guess you're a bad you keep your phones for kind of a while. So
no, I think my most recent phone before my current phone was the first one I had for longer than 2 years.
yeah.
I think I had that one for 3 years or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I feel strongly that we've reached the end of the steep part of the smartphone curve, and like, we need to stop buying phones every 2 years. Like, I mean, it
Oh
was
yeah.
never it was never a good idea, but it was like understandable how you would get excited about a new phone because the phones were genuinely improving with each generation.
Yeah, they
But they're
were.
not doing that anymore.
No,
It's
not
time to
even
stop.
close. We happened to talk about this, I think,
We
literally
t-
last
we
week,
we've been
but
talking about this every time we talk to each other.
yeah, and I've been tweeting about it a lot over the last several years, but yeah, the habitual like spending $1,000 every 2 or 3 years on a phone because they have improved the camera software and added some gimmick is it really sucks. But then also they make the phones so that they break. They make them so they break on
I
purpose.
know. I know.
I mean, we've decided that we want to make this thing out of 100% glass, and it's gonna cost $1,000, and you're gonna need to take it, put it in and out of your pocket 100 times a day, every day. Is that cool?
Eh, you
No.
must you must know about the Fairphone.
I know about the Fairphone. I think it's kind of. I don't think it's that. I think it's kind of overhyped.
Yeah.
Well, okay. It's not like a bunch of people have the
Tell
Fairphone.
me what you.
but-
I need to go to the bathroom, but I will still hear you. So why don't you tell me what you think about the Fairphone and also explain what it is?
Okay, so the Fairphone is they market it as a modular phone. I believe it's made in Europe, and for a while it was only available in Europe. I think the newest one you can get in America, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so they have this modular phone. It's got a replaceable battery, I believe. They call it the world's most sustainable smartphone, is what they call it. I'm looking at their site now. Yeah, it says the world's most sustainable smartphones now at a lower price, good for the planet and your wallet. And I would argue that it is not good for the planet. Just because something is less bad doesn't make it good.
Okay, but you gotta pick something that you dislike less
Yeah.
than. You can't. It can't all. It can't. Everything can't all be the same, right?
Sorry, say it again. Explain what you mean.
I mean, like, maybe I'm just thinking about seeing you arguing about voting with that person in our video comments this
Yeah.
morning, but like,
Yeah.
you can't throw every baby out with all of the bathwater, right?
Well,
Like, at some point, something's got to be better than a different thing.
The thing that I don't like about the Fairphone is that I don't think it's very modular. That's the sort of thing is
In what
like
way?
I think that modular phones are a potentially really cool idea, but I don't think that the Fairphone is very modular. And so
Explain. I don't know much about it.
you can change the camera, and you can change the battery.
Is
Like
that,
it's more,
I mean,
they call it it's really just repairable. It's really just like a repair, which is like cool.
well,
I like repairing. I like when people can repair their own stuff.
hang on.
Yeah.
I would argue that a modular camera, I would say the purpose of that, I mean, yes, it's repairable, which is great. Like, if the camera breaks, you can replace the camera, so you don't have to buy a whole new phone. But also, and I know we've talked about this recently, how this just isn't your thing, but most people these days are upgrading their phones to get
Yeah.
better cameras.
Right.
So if you could just swap out the camera for a better camera without buying a whole new phone, I mean, that
Right.
sounds like a good thing to me.
But my belief about the cameras is that actually what is improving in the cameras is camera software and not hardware. So it doesn't matter. Like shocker, but we already know how to make lenses good.
What?
Yeah, we already know how to make so like for a long time the thing that prevented good lenses from going inside of cameras was cost. And basically what just happened was the phone industry was like, "Oh, we're just going to start charging more and more for our phones, so we're no longer hamstrung by the cost of the device for like how good of a lens we can put in there." I think we're I think we're at the extreme end of diminishing returns as far as camera hardware goes. And all of these improvements are just digital camera improvements, making these tiny little lenses that have to operate similarly to real sized camera lenses. It's all digital. It's all DSP. It's all digital signal processing and like app smoothness and shutter speed, and that's all software.
That sure does. That sure does sound true to me.
Yeah. I mean, we can make little glass lenses. It's not that hard. You know, I'm not to say that there's zero quality difference between any smartphone lens, but it's really, we are in the outer echelons of how much that matters. But so like I'm looking at the parts on the Fairphone store, right? You've got a camera module. You have what they call the top module, which is I think a different. That is the front facing camera. Okay, so you have a rear camera module,
front and rear cameras,
a front thing. You have a speaker module. You have a couple sizes of battery. You have a bottom module replacement. So I guess if your charging port or if your headphone jack starts going, you can replace that. I think that is all nice. Here we go, 2 more camera modules. It's just like not a lot of stuff. Like it really is just like, it's like a tinker phone where you can fuck with your camera and they allow you to open it and replace your battery when your battery starts going. And I think that's great. I just don't think that it's enough. And it's definitely not enough to interest me in a phone. I mean, it's genuinely like a $700 phone too, or it's like a $600 phone. I can't do Euro conversions in my head, but
I mean, usually euro to dollars are pretty close to 1-to-1, aren't they?
I think it's more like 1.3 to 1, with euros being the 1 and USD being 1.3.
Let's go to xe.com and find out. Convert a US dollar to a euro, please. A euro is 0.82 US dollars.
Ooh, that may be okay. So I said 1.3. It's 1.2.
No, the opposite. Euros are worth less than dollars.
Right. That's what I. Well, it's not.
Wait.
It's euro is the
no,
smaller
I'm
number.
sorry. Yeah, I have it backwards. You're right. It's 1.2.
Yeah. So I was pretty close.
Yeah, that was very close.
Yeah. So
So what's the cost of this thing?
It was like 450 euros.
Okay.
Which is a lot. That's the other thing, is that it's not available in any sort of pay in 24 installments things, like a phone that I can get at a stupid big company. So it's like it's all out of pocket, which is not something that I can do normally.
Yeah.
So I guess I was being tough on it, but really what I'm trying to say is I like the idea. It's just like a little baby version of the idea. Like when they first pitched modular phones, it was a much bigger project than tinkering with your camera.
I just don't. I'm just not sure how you would make something that's more tinkerable than the Fairphone and still have it be a useful product for most people.
Yeah.
What do you need to tinker with your phone? I guess my point is, like, I just feel like our phones are fine, and this one seems fine also, but you can replace the battery and the camera.
Yeah,
seems good.
I think that really the thing is, like, I think honestly the best thing about it is it doesn't have a glass back. I think it has a metal back. I don't remember what the back is. I think it's aluminum. And I think I think that aluminum backs and replaceable batteries and not
it looks plastic to me. It's see-through.
Is it see-through?
Yeah. Or at least a lot of them are.
Okay. I mean, plastic is also fine.
Where'd it go? Squid Mold in the Twitch chat saying, if it was modular in the same way as a desktop is, that would be cool, like many manufacturers making many parts. I wonder, are people allowed to make, is it like an open phone platform? Like, can anyone make a camera for the Fairphone?
I don't know.
If no, then the Fairphone is garbage. But if yes, then maybe eventually, maybe the Fairphone isn't it, but maybe the Fairphone is ahead of its time, and in the future, more phones will be like that.
It definitely doesn't say anything like open platform on the front page here.
But boy, we sure didn't come to talk about the Fairphone.
No, I didn't. This is not what I meant to. This is not what I meant to talk about.
We meant to talk about Electronic 3.
Yeah. What do you think about what you've seen at E3?
Well, Keith, I'll be ready to tell you exactly. I know I said we should move on to that other thing of the Electronic 3, but I did want to actually see if the Fairphone is an open platform, so hang on a second. No.
It's not.
The future is dependent. Well, I don't have clear proof that it's not, but I am like, you're right. Their thing doesn't say anything about being like
about
an
open source. It does say, if you scroll down about, let me see, open source, but I don't know what part of it is open source. So it's not. It's also not loading. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. It may be open source, but they don't want to hammer on that too hard because they want you to buy their Fairphone.
If you can't open it, you don't own it. From the very beginning, open source software has been an important topic for Fairphone. So it doesn't say anything about hardware, as far as I can tell. Fairphone Open, which is exclusive to Fairphone 2. It's open but exclusive. We wanted to create a path for developers to engage with our growing community. And I think maybe the thing is that you can build an OS for Fairphone, and that's fine. But they now just use Android. That's why they have it hidden, because Fairphone 2 has an open source Fairphone OS, but now they just use Android. And this has nothing to do with hardware.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I guess like build a camera for Fairphone, and like, what the fuck are they gonna do about it? Like, sue you? Probably not.
Could. They wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe they could.
I just think.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh no. What do you think?
I just think that the cell phone thing, I think it just starts having to be like, we have hit, like I said, the far end of diminishing returns on cell phones, and we should just be using cell phones for longer and like reusing old cell phones. Yeah, that's it. I just hate cell phones. I hate smartphones. I want to get rid of my smartphone.
Excuse me. I like my iPhone mini. It's smaller.
Oh, you got an iPhone mini. That's new. What color did you get? Purple?
I got blue. It's not new. We talked about it months ago.
Okay.
But I've still had it. I've had it long enough that it doesn't feel small anymore. It just feels like the normal size a phone should be.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's so much smaller than my past
You're
phone.
right. It is the normal size a phone should be.
Yes, I know.
It's just not the normal size a phone is.
Right.
That's the other thing that goes into phones, is like they kept making them bigger and bigger, and everybody hates it. Nobody likes how big phones are. There's like a handful of freak weirdos with giant hands.
Sadly, there are a bunch of nutcases out there that want the biggest phone possible.
Yeah, and it's terrible. It's terrible to use. I think there's a lot of really tall phone reviewers out there that have big hands who like their big phones, and they never go, this phone fits fine in my hand, which makes it a bad phone. Because a phone should feel too small to me.
It fits perfectly in my hand, which means it's way too big.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the iPhone 5 first came out, and it was the first iPhone that had 16:9, which meant it was a little bit taller than other phones, but people actually convinced themselves that meant that it was actually taller than 16 by 9 and was no longer a useful aspect ratio. Except now iPhones actually do that and everyone likes it. But
Wait. So
I just remember going into I remember like going into work like the day after I got my iPhone 5, which was I mean it was basically the exact same size as the mini, but it had a 16 by 9 screen. And my coworker who was like this tiny woman who was like barely above like 4'6", like she was so tiny. And she had like the biggest phone in the world that she had to hold with two hands. And she's like, "Oh, I would never get an iPhone 5. It's too tall. It's comically tall." I'm like, "You can't even hold your phone in both hands."
yeah,
Or I mean in one hand.
I don't understand. I guess I just don't understand anything.
Also, her phone was the same aspect ratio as 16 by 9.
It was two 16 by 9 phones, except one was gigantic, and the one that was gigantic was the one she felt was smaller somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was this thing where iPhones had been too short for a while because Steve Jobs felt like it was the correct aspect ratio for his grand design and his brain head, whereas Androids had been 16 by 9 forever. So she was over there with like this enormous 16 by 9 Android being like, that iPhone's too tall. It looks very silly. I'm like, ugh.
And then her phone was literally taller, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Like,
her phone was like, it was multiple inches like bigger than mine, basically.
I would love to go back
So
in
funny.
time and take a look at that phone and realize that her giant monster phone was actually still only like 5.2 inches, like a full inch smaller than all the flagships are these days.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks profoundly reasonable by today's standards.
Yeah.
I think everyone just finds their own, because we have this entire range of products that goes from like tiny smartphones to like, then there's
disagree.
reasonable smartphones. There's no tiny smartphones. You're right. There's reasonable smartphones. There's giant smartphones, and then there's like, then up from that is small tablets, then regular tablets, then huge tablets, and everyone like finds their space, right? Where like I'm a person, like I don't like huge phones, but I also don't really want an iPad either. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
maybe one person might be like, I want a small phone and a big iPad because I'm gonna use my big iPad for all of my sitting on the couch touchscreen
You can
using.
go
And some people
back.
are like, why get an iPad if you could just have a massive phone that's like a tiny iPad in your pocket all the time?
You can go back. You can go back in run button history. I think maybe it's
honestly don't. It's fine.
when was the iPad launched? It was during run button.
I can
right?
tell you. Yeah, no, it was during Complex Rockets. So
Okay.
it was either late 09 or early 2010.
So I think if you were to do this, you would find I've always hated iPads. I've always felt that iPads have no place in like
Polite society.
in polite society. Yeah, so iPads have become like, you can tell that the iPad was a bad idea because what started as like this amazing dream of this like half laptop thing that people can casually just, it has become just like a babysitter device. Like it's just like the thing that instead of kids watching TV, they just have iPads now. It is like iPads are literally for babies. Like that is what they're for now. Which means that it was never a useful device. It doesn't actually slot in any way to people's lives. Like it's always been a totally unnecessary like midway point between a computer and a phone in a way that no one ever really needed. Like I just
Hang on. All right. Okay. You've going for so long.
I know. I haven't
the
really. You
No. I what? All right. Sorry.
No.
Did
You
you
can
have
go.
anything
You can
else
go.
to say?
I just had more insults.
I'll say I will agree with you that I don't really. Very rarely do I ever feel like I need an iPad. Honestly, my one use case for the iPad that crops up a couple times a year is like, it's great. it's a great game walkthrough device to like have next to you while you're playing a game that you need a guide for. But
Okay.
other than that, I don't really have any real uses for it. Some people love their iPads and use it for every computing task that they can think of because they were never going to be the person that needed a desktop PC because all they do is like use Facebook and send email.
Okay.
And actually, if you go back to the iPad launch, nobody was like, "Oh, this is a dream device." They were laughing at it and going, "Who would ever want this? This is so dumb.
Mm,
It's like a big phone that can't make phone calls." And then once it came out, people were like, "Oh, actually, I do like this."
yeah, no, but okay, so maybe it's fair to say that people didn't like it when they first saw it, but it took over the world as soon as it came out. So I feel like that's basically the same thing. I don't know what it is about the iPad that captured people's imaginations, except that businesses have the ability to capture people's imaginations over nothing. Like we see it over and over again, whether it's the iPad or that people still really like the MCU. Like it just seems like a thing that people were convinced that they like, but actually has no. Because you're right,
But
there's people out there.
you bring one of these up every week, though, right?
I know, I do.
You have a new thing you're convinced no one ever genuinely liked.
Yeah, it happens all the time. I mean,
I
think
know
of how
that
many
I know you
iPads are
feel
out
that
there in the
way.
world versus how many people really needed an iPad.
Well, no one needed an iPad.
Uh, uh,
But how
uh,
many laptops are out there compared to people who quote unquote really needed a laptop? Like, what does that even mean?
People use it for work. Well, because that is the thing, is that like the thing that came out,
People use iPads for work.
the thing that but it's like, but like for the people that just they don't need a desktop computer, they need something with a screen to do work on, and you can't really send emails with a phone comfortably. Well,
Oh,
then, right? I mean,
no.
y-
No, 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 no. I'll never send an email on anything but my phone. Why would I bother? My phone's right in my pocket.
yeah, but if you've got to actually type out a lot of emails for work, you don't want to. I think it's reasonable that a lot of people don't want to do that on their phone,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, for work,
Yeah, for work.
sure.
That's it for work. That's what I said. Uh, for this is for
I mean,
work, but
well,
then
I guess it's like here's what I mean like I think lots of people send email for their work on their phone all day long. I've done that. I think if you have some kind of job where your job involves only composing emails all day, then like yeah, you'd want to do it on a physical keyboard.
right.
But I think most office jobs where an email just pops up that they need to send once in a while predominantly will do that on their phone, I think.
I think that I don't know why you're trying to tell me that there's not a lot of people that need to send messages and emails
Well, I mean, I don't
and
know.
don't want to use a phone.
Have you worked in an office where
You
emails get
interrupted
sent?
me
'Cause
before I could
have.
actually start making my point, which is just that why would someone spend $8 or $9 or $100 or $1,000 on an iPad when they could use a netbook get like a physical keyboard? It does all of the same things except it's more capable, and you don't have to send emails on a touchscreen. That was my point, is that netbooks are available and cheap and fill a lot of the same role that an iPad might fill. And I think that that's
Okay.
part of what started to happen, is why iPads became sort of a thing for babies, is because people started buying like Chromebooks or something.
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah.
I just feel like there's a lot of iPads out there and people don't use them anymore because they don't really have. Someone earlier said I lost the message, but someone was like artists use them for drawing. I think that's like a very specific thing. Like Isaac uses an iPad for drawing, and I think that totally makes sense that that's what it's for. But that's not really how it was sold, and that's not what most people do with it. Most people
Mhm.
just like use YouTube or something.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. Um, they're not good. They're not good to hold. They're too big. It's too big.
Hi.
Hello.
Um, I don't know. Did we want to talk about E3 stuff?
Yeah,
Do you have
did you
anything?
find E3?
No, how'd you find E3?
I thought it was really easy to watch. Which is rare for E3 and me.
Really?
Yeah.
What things did you watch?
I watched the um I would say the unfortunately named, if not unfortunately assembled, wholesome direct. Um,
What was that?
the wholesome direct.
No. I heard you, but what was that?
Oh, okay. So it was a collection of indie games that that have a sort of loosely associated sort of gentle vibe and or aesthetic, and I don't actually know what it was associated with. I don't know like what. I don't know if it was. I think it was his own thing. A lot of an amount of the games looked good. It was a little. It was a little much. But it was mostly fine. I watched that. I watched the Summer Games Fest, the Jeff Keighley thing. I watched some of, but not all of, the like post Summer Games Fest Coke Media thing.
You said you didn't watch any of that.
I watched it after you brought it up because I had just forgotten about it.
Oh, okay.
It was mostly just boring.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. I just fast forwarded through to like look at the games. Yeah, it just they didn't have enough stuff. They didn't have enough. Hey, was that the one I fast forwarded through most of it? Did they keep cutting back to like old E3 or something? Is that what they kept doing?
No, are you talking about the Nextlander stream?
Is that what?
Because I watched the Nextlander stream and it was so boring that they just started watching E3 1995 press conferences. And it was really, I mean, here was the thing was I was getting really nervous as this was happening because it would be like they would have like Jeff Keighley's stream down in the corner muted. And it would be like some guy talking about his game and it holds on his face for like literally 15 minutes while they just keep talking and talking. And I'm like, listen, like I'm watching the Nextlander thing going like, okay, if these people are saying like interesting, insightful things about game development, like Nextlander's making a bunch of asses of themselves right now, and like this is a really embarrassing look. But after that was over, and I heard from other people that didn't seem to think that there was anything good about that Jeff Keighley thing, that maybe they didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I watched it this morning. And it was immediately kind of boring, so I just fast forwarded through to the bits where they were showing games, which was not very many bits of that kind of long thing.
And one of my notes about this was this big ad was probably cheap compared to a game. like half of the entire stream or even more was just a big ad for Koch Media's Embracer Group's new publishing label Prime Matter.
Right.
Like THQ Nordic became so if you've been following video games, you've heard about this for the past few years, but there was like the label THQ went out of business years ago. Some new business who wanted to get into game publishing buys that name and Nordic Studios and becomes THQ Nordic. And then they've been acquiring things for years, and then they recently changed their name to Embracer Group, which is like hilariously dystopian.
It's super dystopian. It's such a dark sound. It's a comic book villain corporation name.
So they didn't say Embracer Group at all in the Jeff Keighley thing, and I'm wondering if they're just killing that brand and going with Prime Matter now.
They really should. I mean, it's really a bad name.
Yeah. And it's so embarrassing. Like one of the times that Nextlander switched back from E3 95 to the Keighley stream to like make sure they weren't missing anything was I have it written down here. Final question. What are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch and also being featured on their brand new label? Like this is what Jeff Keighley's person is asking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then like to which all of the game developers could only respond like, yeah, seems good. We're making a game, I guess.
Yeah. To be
Yeah, I
fair,
think
though, that is like the sort of thing that they ask at E3 all the time whenever there's some sort of stupid
no.
exclusive thing, and they go like, what's it like being with Sony? And they're like, usually they're better at answering it, where they're like, oh
But,
yeah, Sony, that's so great they have such a
no,
storied history, but
you're not
Embracer
wrong,
Group doesn't
but
have that.
I must stress that I rode the pause button so that I could write this down verbatim.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch and also being featured on their brand new label? Like, it was embarrassing the degree to which this was
Yeah.
just an ad. They also, by the way, had no games to show.
Right.
They only had game announcements of things that weren't ready to show,
Which I
and
noticed.
just like old stuff that is embarrassing to even say like it's a thing, like Payday.
Right. Which is why I noticed right away that they weren't really showing very many games, and I started fast forwarding through to where the games were and being like, why is there all this old footage? Why do they keep showing old E3 thinking that it was a part of
Nextlander?
It's really funny.
But it was really interesting because the E3 95 stuff, it was the E95 is the very first E3, and it's a lot of people in suits, like businessmen giving PowerPoint presentations. They're showing classic stuff. They're showing graphs with numbers about how much money the music industry is making and the film industry, and they're here to be like, video games are also making a lot of money. Woo! But it was such like it to me, it just underlined how E3 just isn't necessary anymore, because you look at like E3 95. This is the 1990. This is the E3 where Sega announces that the Saturn is out now.
Yeah.
It's the E3. It's the E3 where they have the Sony 299 moment, which I think is less infamous, or well, it wouldn't be infamous because it was a cool moment. But have you heard of this?
No.
It's like Sony's giving their big all of these press conferences are like multiple people in suits talking for over an hour just about industry stuff, and they go like, oh, the CEO of I know you're all really anxious to know what the PlayStation's going to cost, what the price will be here, and now a brief presentation from the CEO of Sony of America or whatever on the price of the PlayStation. And he walks up with a big stack of papers, puts them down on the podium, leans into the mic and just goes $299, and then walks off the stage. And like to cheers and applauses, and the Saturn, earlier that day they had announced the Saturn is in stores now. It costs $399 to $449. So like a PlayStation for $300 compared to a Saturn for $450 is
Yikes.
an absolute joke.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. We know how all that turned out. Oh, and then so Sega goes, hey, we're awesome. We're doing this weird thing of announcing that the Saturn is in stores now, which I will say it was weirdly silent. Like I wasn't sure people. It was, well, first of all, it was recorded on this crappy camcorder that seemed to hitch its video recording every time the feed on the mic would get too loud. So like anytime the audience cheered, it would like hitch the video, which made it hard to like see what was happening. But there definitely like the enthusiasm for the PlayStation price announcement was so much stronger than the enthusiasm for the Saturn's in the stores right now. Go get it.
Hey, it was the first E3.
It was the first E3. I had this I had a pretty good line here. This line was it was spoken by somebody on the Sony press conference, and to me this just like highlighted why E3 just like isn't really relevant anymore. They had this interesting line where they're talking about the success of video games, and there you go. By that I mean it's obvious to us all that we are not in a tent. Audience chuckles. For the first time, we are indoors at our own trade show. Industry momentum accelerating to the tune of $5 billion in annual sales has moved us from the CES parking lot. More chuckles, some claps. It's no coincidence that Sony's PlayStation coincides with blah, 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 blah. It's just like, it was an interesting time in the industry when things were accelerating really quickly, and it's just not happening anymore. You know, like video games are here. There's nothing interesting about the idea that video games get their own trade show. It's not even really necessary anymore because the internet has
Yeah.
proliferated this kind of thing so much
Yeah. And
that, you know, it's just so easy to get information to
well,
people now. You just don't need to gather in a show floor
the
in
thing
LA.
the thing that's really struck me about watching E3 this year with the all digital thing because of COVID is how different the vibe is when there's not an audience. Like you're talking about that first E3, right? There's like
Mhm.
businessmen in suits cheering about like profits or whatever. And
Uh, sure.
or you know, about
I couldn't even tell you who's in the audience. It's probably a mix of like magazine writers, people that work for these three companies who are speaking, and then also like I don't know
yeah.
the buyers for Walmart and Sears or whatever.
Right. And so there's like, okay, it's the first E3. You announce the price for the Sony PlayStation. Various different kinds of people for various different reasons really like that, and they all cheer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of some of the worst moments for me in watching E3 as a live stage presentation from my home is that all kinds of different presentations want you to cheer about different things, and there's just this feeling
like storming the triathlon,
right, storming the triathlon, or having the
or
having three epic SKUs for your Xbox 360.
Oh God.
It's like
that was the last time anyone was allowed to say epic in video games marketing. It really was.
Yeah. And
it's so funny.
There's this horrible emotional vacuum that happens watching E3 when you can tell that there's a built-in applause break for something that nobody wants to applaud for.
Yeah.
And it happens every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And not having that was such an emotional relief for me watching E3. And I think that is largely what made it the most the easiest to watch E3 in years for me.
Mm-hmm. I think for me it's like I think I just feed off of that energy, like because even when things are being awkward, it's like I don't know. I was very bored by a lot of these presentations. I mean, Jeff Keighley's thing that was just one big ad. So
yeah, well, he's a snooze, but it's all one big
one.
ad. He's a snooze.
He's a huge snooze.
He's a huge snooze.
This is all right, wait. Jeff Keighley's thing, before we move on, like, this, I think, was kind of like, oh, I was going to say my breaking point on Jeff Keighley. That's funny, because I would have said years ago that already happened. But, like, what I heard, you know, I think even from here or there from the Nextlander people while they're watching this is like, oh, well, you know, Jeff's thing is, you know, he's got to, you know, make big ad deals so that he can do the show so that we can show the other games that they're really here to show. But there were no other games. It was only an ad for games you couldn't have cared about because you hadn't heard of them and they didn't really show you anything. Like, my question to Jeff Keighley is like, who fucking needs this show? Who is this for besides like lining the pockets of the people that produce it? Because, you know, for years the line has been like, well, you know, Jeff Keighley's making you know, like they have the Call of Duty, like some Call of Duty person come out on stage just to be like, yeah. Oh, there's so much exciting stuff happening in Call of Duty all the time. Wow. Like tons of awesome market engagements all over the Call of Duty, whatever. It's like I was shocked by how she wasn't even pretending to be talking about like playing a game more than just talking about promoting a brand.
Right.
And I'm like who the fuck is any of this for?
Almost no one
gives a shit about Prime Matter. Fuck you. Fuck you, Jeff.
Yeah. Come on, Jeff.
Did you see the little drama between Jeff and E3 about co-streaming?
Oh, of course. Speaking of drama about co-streaming, Nintendo has introduced some very Nintendo drama on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo tweeted out from their main account only minutes ago, I think. You're not allowed to stream the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. Keith.
Yeah.
It's starting right now. We have to stream the Nintendo.
I know. I'm literally setting up.
They won't fucking stop.
They
us.
won't stop.
There's
They
no
can't
way.
stop me.
Can I tell you more about Nintendo? So
Yes.
E3 '95, right? So Sega comes out, gives a. I don't want to pretend like this was the only thing they said. They give a big long presentation that's dry and boring about the future of video games or whatever. But Sega comes out. It's the Saturn's in stores now, folks. Sony comes out. $2.99, motherfucker. It's gonna blow your mind. Nintendo puts Howard Lincoln on the stage, who was like their lawyer, basically. I mean, he started as their lawyer, but he just gives, like, among other things, this big, long, like, scolding presentation about how piracy is destroying video games. It shows no sign of slowing down. Oh, it's eating into Nintendo's profits so much. Last year, we had a big hit with Donkey Kong Country, but our tech support team was getting calls from people who their cartridges wouldn't save because they bought a bootleg cartridge that didn't have a save battery in it because these bootleggers, in order to try to maximize every possible profit, they had removed the battery backup completely. And it just like it was like the height of Nintendo being completely out of touch with like the rest of the industry. Though I was then like wondering to myself, like, because I know Nintendo goes on to use cartridges in the N64 as an anti-piracy measure, and now I'm wondering, like, okay, hurt them to have cartridges instead of discs as they were so much more expensive, but Sega put discs in both of their systems, and they basically got pirated out of existence. So maybe the N64 cartridges were like the only thing that saved a Nintendo. I don't know.
Honestly, it's totally possible. That is actually plausible to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sony comes out of that generation smelling like a rose, despite all the piracy that happened on PS1. I think just because it was just such a massive success that it couldn't even slow them down, really.
Yeah.
And of course, the position there, like when Sony's introducing the PlayStation, they're at the bottom and they're trying to fight their way to the top of the industry. Nintendo's already at the top. They're just trying to, keep people from stealing money out of their pillowcase or whatever.
You hear that?
No.
Oh, you're gonna have to stream it on your own. I'm watching the IGN.
Oh, no.
I'm capturing the YouTube of the IGN stream of this on YouTube.
Okay.
Let's continue with our first batch of Nintendo Switch headlines.
Fucking Nintendo. Like, don't stream our thing.
Don't
I was going to say the
you don't
E3
want people
thing,
to watch this. Don't.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Like, it seems that they don't understand that this is an ad for them.
It's so funny.
You're not allowed to share our ad if it's not official.
This looks cool. The
Sure.
Jeff Keighley thing specifically was
just
like
Life is Strange. Just like a Life is Strange.
Oh, of course. It's the Life is Strange anime, finally, on Netflix, the thing we've all been waiting for.
On Netflix,
oh my gosh,
on
and now the
Nintendo.
new character from the new one is here too. Oh my gosh. It's
Oh,
not a
did you
show
see the
that-
Life is Strange remastered? Looks so weird.
It does, yeah. It looks fine.
It always
whatever.
all of these remasters are so lateral. Like, at best, they're lateral.
Yeah. I think Patrick Klepek was speculating that maybe it was just they had to do an engine port, and a lot of times when you port games from one engine to another, it will do things like break all the lighting, and so maybe they had to redo all the lighting anyways. So they're like, this is a remaster now.
People in the chat, let me know how the audio mix is. It should be okay. I did okay, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, E3's thing was anyone can co-stream our stuff except Jeff Keighley was basically their stance.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? Honestly, it's fair though, right? Like if this
it's not fair.
No. This is the fucking stupid ass space that Jeff Keighley wants to play in. He wants to play with the big boys, with the big ad bucks and all this fucking bullshit. Well, then you have to play by the big boys' dumbass rules.
But Jeff Keighley didn't say E3 can't stream me. It's not even E3's. E3 isn't even doing it. It's not E3's stuff. It's like Microsoft's stuff.
I think they were talking specifically about some E3 branded streams that they were doing in between those press conferences.
Well, but
I'm
then
not clear on the whole thing.
Yeah, it's all.
Anyways,
stupid.
the point is, you can tell I'm not pleased with Jeff Keighley. The end,
Who
I
cares?
guess.
I don't know. I don't give a shit. Jeff Keighley, whatever. Who cares? He's the same. He's just the same as them.
He's the same.
And he always was the
hey,
same
it's-
as them. It wasn't. He's not like some guy that I respected that then became like a weird shill. He's just the guy that did ads
was
for
the
video games on
story.
Spike and now does ads for video games on Summer Games Fest.
That was the cultural narrative around him, though.
Yeah, well, it was. I don't know that was right. He just always seemed like this to me.
Yeah,
ever
I
since
know.
I
We
first
got
heard of
nothing.
him.
You had nothing to say about that Worms game.
I wasn't. I was thinking more about Jeff Keighley. I like Worms.
Okay.
In the Wholesome Management Sim 2-Point Campus, you'll build and run your very own
The
university.
Wholesome Management Sim. Great.
Lots of creative tools
Finally a wholesome
to make
management
school
sim.
yours and take your educational empire to the next level.
I saw this. Was it Ubisoft? Maybe. This looks okay.
Yeah, I heard 2 Point Hospital was good.
Oh, maybe I saw it actually during the Wholesome Direct. Is actually where I saw it.
Probably. Yeah.
Here.
Uh-oh, bananas. What could this be?
Bananas. I'm not seeing bananas
Kong
yet.
Galaxy.
Oh, there we go. Now
Donkey Kong Galaxy.
No, you're wrong. It's not.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
it's
what?
Monkey Ball. It's Monkey Ball.
It's a different monkey?
It's a different monkey.
This is a Sega game. What's happening?
Sega is Nintendo now.
Cats and dogs living together. Monkeys and apes living together.
Is it sort of like the ultimate business cuck that Sega's primary home since being ruined out of the console market has been on Sega platforms? I'm sorry, on Nintendo platforms?
Nintendo platforms.
Is that like a major business cuck, do you think?
I mean, I think I certainly get a lot of joy out of thinking of it like that, but I think the real truth is that Nintendo was always the closest one to Sega. You know, Sega was only the edgy boy compared to Nintendo. Once Sony came in,
Right.
that
You're
that was
saying
the thing is like
you're saying Sega died as a console developer and Nintendo said, "Friend, come to me. Come be my
Exactly.
friend. Come be on our system."
Well, you know, I think they started out with Sega on Sonic on Nintendo and everything else on Xbox. But I think all their stuff just sold better on GameCube. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows what Sega was up to?
Sega, what are you up to?
Hey, it's a new Mario Party.
Sega's is almost like
I know.
a big
We all
deal
know
publisher
these
days.
ones. Oh, we love some of these. Some of these are our favorites. Our
Sure.
favorite mini games.
Nintendo, hey, we might love the
It's just
flash bang and the of an Xbox show, but we all know that it's Nintendo is the console of our hearts.
Is it?
No, I'm just saying that's like the Nintendo vibe that they give off.
Stickers are also available to communicate with others.
What if?
Wow, Keith, can you believe that you can stop a Mario Party in the middle now? Ooh.
Oh, that's great. You don't have to just play it until you either die or win.
You never could. I don't think that's actually a new feature.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to say
No,
But they're
you're
not
right.
calling it
Yeah, you could
Super
stop.
Mario Party anymore.
working hard on the latest game in the Metroid Prime series, Metroid Prime 4, which we previously announced. But today, we'd like to introduce another new entry in the Metroid franchise. Please take a look.
Yeah.
I feel fine about the Metroid franchise.
I wasn't expecting them to show Prime 4. Of course, I wanted to see it, but I'm just as happy to
Metroid
have
5?
them be like, we're still working on it, and we'll show you when it's good. Like, yeah, it's fine. I don't need to see it till it's good. This looks sick as hell, though. This is Other M2. This is Other M.
I thought they said it was Metroid Prime 4.
No. This is something else.
Oh.
They're saying basically people are rabid for Prime 4 and there's been no news out of it because it's been a really troubled development. So they're just like, listen, we know you want it, but we're sorry, we're not here to show it.
Here's a sequel to a game
Metroid
a lot of people didn't like.
I think this is going to be a Fusion remake. It's going to be Metroid Fusion 3D5.
They said Metroid 5 is what they called it in the thing.
Oh, right. Oh, so this is just a new Metroid.
Yeah. I took you seriously when you said it's Other M2. But thinking back, it did say Metroid 5 on it.
But also, Metroid Dread. That's cool.
Metroid Dread. This looks all right.
Yeah, I'll totally play a new Metroid game. That looks cool. Wow, Nintendo woke up and heard that people like Metroid.
Yeah. This is like for years and years you wanting a new Shadow Complex game, and now you can have that, but without having to feel weird about wanting that.
Wow, it sounds good.
Yeah.
It is so funny to me that they never just made a Shadow Complex 2.
Yeah,
If they had any idea what they were doing, they would have just set to work immediately on Shadow Complex 2. Cool.
October? That's close.
Hang on, is that October or August? Because I've been burned by this before.
October. 10 is October.
Fuck you.
Fuck me?
No, the person who called this the first 2D Metroid game in over 20 years. I'm like, yeah, but what about the new one you put out 2 years ago, though?
Which one?
It was a remake of Metroid 2, but it was like a pretty new game.
Okay.
Amiibo figures for Samus and the Emmy, the robot seen in the video. Let's move on to more Nintendo
thank
Switch
God.
headlines.
I was worried. I was actually worried my house didn't have enough amiibos I wasn't doing anything with. So I'm glad those exist now.
I only have one amiibo, I think. I only have a Pikachu amiibo. Maybe you know what? I think I have a Link amiibo as well.
There was like a brief period of time where people were into amiibos and it actually seemed like they would get used in Nintendo games sometimes. And so there were a few I couldn't help but purchase.
They really did pretend like amiibos maybe were going to matter for a couple years.
They pretended so good at that.
Yeah, they did a really good job of not having to do enough work for it to be impressive, but doing just enough work to keep suckers buying little plastic toys.
Yeah, I think I avoided buying an amiibo for the longest time, and then once the seal was broken, I was like, okay, but I also want this one and this one and this one, though.
Yeah. The only stupid little toy that I ever got even a little bit tricked into buying was, and I will not admit that this was a full trick, but I ended up playing a lot of Star Wars Infinity, and so I bought a lot of the Star Wars Disney Infinity figures.
Finally, it's the ultimate Dragon Ball Z experience.
Yes, I've been waiting. Each Dragon Ball Z game, I'm hoping, is the ultimate Dragon Ball Z experience.
Yes.
But those I was working at GameStop at the time, and those Star Wars Infinity figurines were like extremely cheap, and also easy to steal.
I love that they're just fucking explaining to you that this game is the story of Dragon Ball Z. Here are all the things you'll experience: Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Saga. Like, yeah, I know, I've played a Dragon Ball game. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, but I've never played a Dragon Ball game where I get to punch a giant fish. That might actually be the ultimate Dragon Ball Z experience.
I would like a game to take really seriously the original Dragon Ball story.
I think they already made a game or two like that didn't turn out to be good.
Well, I want them to do it good. Wow.
I'm fine with them doing it bad.
What's that?
I'm actually fine with them doing it bad.
I don't want them. I want them to do it good.
Look
at how good Mario is at golf. Look, it just goes straight forever almost.
I actually look at.
Hit different types of shots and aim for under par.
Look how good he is at golf.
I don't get to. They're not letting me see any of the balls land. What if the ball landing
They
collision
don't
is broken?
land. They go forever.
First to get your ball in the hole. Outpace
Long
your
Oh,
bomb.
that's cool. That's
Wait.
cool, actually.
What is this part where you have to get to your ball? I don't understand.
The idea is that there's no turns. It's like real-time golf, so everyone's just
Wow.
racing to their golf ball.
Would absolutely play that. That's
yeah,
great.
totally, right?
Go from rookie to pro with your Mii
Battle
character.
golf.
The golfing challenges that await may surprise you.
What?
And here's
That's
some
I
not
like
real.
how-
You can't do that. That's not a thing.
Tiger Woods,
additional courses
Tiger
and playable
Woods,
characters.
like ruined his reputation to the point where they had to like stop making Tiger Woods video games, and then I feel
Only temporarily.
no, there's still no. Those are not called Tiger Woods Golf anymore. They're called like PGA. For 2 years, they were Rory McIlroy Golf, and
Yes.
then
One
they
year.
realized that
1
that
year.
doesn't mean anything, so they might as well just call it PGA Tour. So those games are now called PGA
Vibrant
Tour.
world of Monster Hunter.
But still no one cares, and so now Nintendo and Mario are the preeminent
You'll
golf
explore
game.
diverse landscapes by riding your Monstie, a monster companion.
Did he say riding your Monstie?
Gather materials such as honey and ore, then use them to craft items for your journey.
Riding your Monstie.
But beware
Weirdly,
of
the
monsters
Wikipedia page for the PGA Tour game series lists it as like Tiger Woods from 98 until 2013, then Rory McIlroy in 2015, but then
Yep.
it just says that's the end of the series.
No, they still make them, I think. Pretty sure.
No, it's not according to Wikipedia.
Damn, I could have sworn they made a couple PGA Tour. Maybe they're
like,
technically
it might
not
just-
associated.
You might
Yeah, it
want to
might
hatch
just be like a
monster.
new page.
Incredibly powerful Monsties can also hatch from rare eggs. Need more
I want to
traveling
hatch a
buddies?
rare Monstie
Join
from an
up with friends
egg.
for co-op multiplayer
I
quests
actually
and
don't. I
battles.
don't care about it.
You don't want to hatch a Monstie?
Have you heard about Pal World?
Monster of an adventure.
Yes, I've heard about Pal World.
Monster Hunter Stories 2,
Okay,
Wings of
just
Ruin.
checking.
Pal World, aka the real Pokemon.
You can play the
Yes,
free
real
demo on
Pokemon.
carry over your save
Oh, now PGA Tour is a 2K series, so the new series is PGA Tour
Here's a new game
2K.
from the
Oh, okay. But it's still like this is what PGA Tour has decided to do.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah, no, you're
those
right.
those Tiger Woods games were PGA games. Like
I guess
official.
what I was trying to get at is if you haven't noticed, Tiger Woods' reputation has been extremely remediated in the public eye.
oh
and
yeah,
people
sure.
Just like
I
watching
just
him
meant
play
that
golf.
I just meant that they weren't making Tiger Woods games anymore.
I actually for some reason remembered that they went back to Tiger Woods, but clearly I was wrong.
Yeah,
WarioWare is back, y'all.
we love that. I actually have never owned a WarioWare game. I've only ever played WarioWare
looks-
with
what
you at
the-
your house.
What the shit is this? This doesn't look. I don't know. I don't know that there was ever a great WarioWare after the first one, really.
DS was the second one, right? That one was good.
That was the third one, but
Okay.
I didn't like it.
I thought it was fine. This doesn't look great.
Not nice. All right, you. Yes, you. The one watching this. Better get ready for some.
This has a lot of VO for Wario.
Yeah, that's their new thing. They put out.
WarioWare. Get it together
There was a
game
ton
that
of
launches
Wario
exclusively
VO
on the
in
Nintendo
WarioWare
system
Gold
September 10th.
on the 3DS.
Begin today
I don't know
on
about
Nintendo
that.
eShop.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't think that VO is very
I
good.
don't-
What you just saw
Yeah,
was
I don't think
for
Charles
Wario
Martinet is
All
actually
together.
that good. Charles Martinet, I'm sorry.
This series, there
You know,
are
he's
two
got the
Wario
voices, but I don't
games
think
where
that
all Wario
anything
is
can really
friends.
be done with those voices. I'm,
There's
you know,
also a
like
two-player
the
co-op
more Charles Martinet's
These
characters
fans
speak,
begin
I feel like the more they're
It's
diminished.
releasing in the near future, so stay
Yeah.
tuned.
They're just
Well, they
not
were
talkers.
conceived as non-speaking
Please take a look at
characters.
this.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
having
I
to
mean,
go like
other
this,
than,
this guy all of a sudden needs to start talking, it's a little
know.
jarring.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
As a
What's
high
this?
school
But
student living
Keith,
No, what
you
is
have
this?
to.
your life is
This is
fairly normal.
This is so different than everything that they've shown.
this is the Shin Megami Tensei 5.
But that
Oh,
isn't
okay.
ended. After you get
I can tell because that boy looks like a Shin Megami Tensei character.
Yeah, that's sort of what I had in my head. Where it was like, this looks like. Well, I was like, this looks like Persona, but that's kind of the same thing almost.
Yeah.
Another Tokyo exists.
What? But I'm just an unassuming schoolboy. How did I end up in this dimension full of devils?
I'm
No
still looking
way.
for the Persona 4 remake that casts the true villain of the game as the Junes Corporation.
That's
The world is now
Nailed it.
transformed into a sprawling, demon-infested wasteland.
This
oh,
looks
but
alright. I don't know.
now you're a
Only
girl
demons
though.
do exist here. Many are hostile and will attempt to destroy you. Harness your newfound powers to fight demons using
What if I like
I
Shin
don't
Megami
know.
Tensei? What if I like
Knowing
that?
your weak point is key.
You know
Yeah,
anything
what
about Shin
if-
Megami Tensei games? I sure as hell don't.
I sure as hell don't.
Though demons
Uh,
are formidable opponents.
I'm just over here playing Trism for the iPhone.
Negotiations,
Trism for the
which
iPhone.
begin when you open a conversation with
Yeah.
them.
I'll be right back.
If a negotiation is successful, a demon will become a powerful ally.
Okay.
In some cases, by rejecting a demon's request, they may feel motivated and join you as an ally.
What? You
Demons
you,
that
you didn't do what I said? That's pretty cool.
Grow stronger. By fusing demon allies, another demon can be created.
Gross.
The newly fused demon's innate abilities will vary, granting you a powerful ally
Jack Frost.
customized to your needs and playstyle. Challenge the many demons roaming. this
Oh,
host
fear no
of
more, I'm
Hey, look, it's
back.
the Eiffel Tower. You
by
see that?
harnessing the power
I
of
saw
your
Jack
own.
Frost. Hey ho.
That was sorry. That was actually Fairy Jack Frost.
Oh.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 will launch exclusively on Nintendo
Bay
Switch
ho.
November 12th. Pre-orders for the physical version begin June
Yay.
21st.
Pre-orders for the physical version.
Shin Megami Tensei games are known for being really hard.
From Atlas. This is
I'll
the
play
newest
that though.
game in the series.
I haven't played.
All
I
right,
missed Persona.
yeah.
I missed Persona 5.
Play it. That's
See a few
fine.
more Nintendo Switch
Yeah,
headlines.
it didn't. I didn't get the. I didn't feel the
Celebrate
bug.
10 years of Danganronpa.
Yeah.
In despair.
No, I won't.
You won't celebrate it in despair.
It's so unhinged to me that people like the series.
I've like okay, so I've only heard two different kinds of things about these games.
3 games
The
Okay.
first thing that I've heard is that people really like them, and the second thing that I've heard is
wait.
that people shouldn't like them because they're in different ways problematic.
I would love maybe
Unfortunately, the only way out of the school and this lethal game is to
maybe-
betray the other students. And so it begins.
well, my
When a student
My
meets their demise, a
first thought is like maybe we should play it. We should play it and see what we think, but I feel like we'd have to actually play the whole game and get the entire story to like have a feeling about it. But
How long
I
are
hate
they?
to say it. I hate to say it, but I think this is like one of those really sophomoric anime series games where like it makes people feel like the story is about interesting, introspective things, but it's actually they just use like a bunch of buzzwords to make you think the story is about something.
Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp. An
It's
all-star
hard to
cast of
explain, but
Hey,
maybe we
look!
have
As
to-
long as I'm
maybe
not
we
the
have to
only one
watch-
saying
play the
people are
first
being
one.
tricked into thinking that they like something.
Who's the strongest of them all in this
That's not what I
ultimate
said.
brawl?
I don't know.
4-game collection Danganronpa Decadence.
And I think
Exclusive
in
on
the
Nintendo
distinction
Switch
between what
later
you
this
said and what I said is you'll find why I
Also
don't
be individually
agree with the
available
things
on
you
Nintendo
say
eShop.
about like people not liking iPads.
We hope you're not afraid of ghosts.
Oh no, I
This
am
looks
afraid
cool.
of ghosts.
Keith is extremely afraid of ghosts. So this is Ghostwire. Oh!
In this horror adventure game, you'll uncover the mysteries.
Keith, did you see?
Fatal Frame, yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
believed to be at the center of many disappearances. Ghosts frequent
Crimson Butterfly.
Your only defense is a camera that can repel and
Do you still think that's a bad subtitle?
Yeah, I do.
Fears as you explore a variety of unsettling locations.
I think it undercuts the horror of
The
it.
spine-chilling story
I don't-
features various protagonists.
I don't
letting
get
you
it.
experience the game from different
I've always
perspectives.
wanted to go back
New
and play more
customs
Fatal
and
Frame
photo
2,
modes
but I was really put off by
version.
how
Can you investigate Mount Hikami? And
how
stay
very
alive.
gamey the
Fatal
photo
Frame,
system
made in
felt.
black water, creeps
Yeah.
out to Nintendo Switch
I mean,
just
that
looks
looks scary.
cool.
I don't want to play that because that looks too scary.
These games and DLC are coming soon. Some even today.
What? Some even today? Hey, did you hear that the guy that played Sonic for the last, like, 12 years quit and then immediately unquit?
Eternal, the Ancient Gods Part 1.
You're talking about me.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been
I'm
playing
the person
Sonic.
who played Sonic for the past 12 years and then quit and then unquit.
Demon-infested ruins and rain-swept terrain.
I saw, like, I heard, I, like, had heard that
In your hands.
I can't remember his name right now, but he also is like Mirage in Apex Legends.
I forgot to bring up on our Game of the Year podcast. I forgot to bring up how disappointing I thought Doom Eternal was.
You did, yeah. You mentioned that to me that you forgot to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Not on. I
So
don't think on anything.
I forgot
You
to
mentioned-
mention it, but I didn't forget to mention that I forgot to mention it.
Right. You did remember to mention that you forgot to mention it.
There's Tony Hawk 1 and 2 for the Switch. If you haven't played this one yet, play it.
I haven't.
It slaps.
I still haven't.
You know, probably don't play it on Switch because it looks real good on not a Switch, but hey.
After 4,000 years,
But
Sateki,
hey.
the Witch Queen, has risen from the dead.
No way.
Only
I
one
thought
group
that
of
she was
heroes can
dead.
Stop her. The Strange Brigade. In this thrilling adventure, you'll blast through an army.
Finally.
of monstrosities while solving
Finally, the
puzzles
Strange
in
Brigade.
trapped
I love to
dungeons.
solve puzzles
Power
with
alone
my
or
gun.
team up with other
Hell
different
yeah, I
adventures.
love to play Pipe Dream with a gun.
Yeah, I love when there's puzzles in games, but I don't love having to put my gun away to solve them.
Yeah.
Isn't there a way to solve this puzzle with violence?
It's a new adventure of cosmic
Oh, this looked really good. They showed this at the Ubisoft show.
I mean, it looked like Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah, and that game ruled. The game was really good.
Oh, I can never pin down what people thought about that game because I thought the prevailing opinion was like, yeah, it's cool for like the first few hours and then it gets boring and lame.
No, it gets really hard, is what happens
Oh.
to it. But I thought it was a blast up until it got really hard.
Gotcha.
I think I put like 12 or 15 hours into it before I kind of fell off.
I did like how Rabid Rosalina is just like totally over it and seems to have no energy whatsoever.
Yeah, very lethargic.
Extremely lethargic Rabid.
Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope,
Which
launching
is-
into
is-
space or onto Nintendo Switch next year.
Maybe that's why Mario and Rabbids are such a unexpectedly good fit, is because like it's like Mario characters aren't allowed to have personalities. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Ooh, some Advance Wars. I never really played Advance Wars.
Oh. Hey, the original Advance Wars is a great game, and people will love playing this version, but I ain't gonna play this version. I want that 16-bit pixels. I want those pixels, baby.
I like these cartoons.
Look at these
are
cartoons. They
those
look dumb.
I mean, I don't like the actual graphics of the game, but I like the interstitials of those characters.
Oh, good. I mean, I like these graphics. These look nice.
Memorable characters and vibrant
Oh,
players.
God.
We're
yeah,
doing
the
memorable
character-
characters.
The character portraits just don't look like good versions of those characters.
I don't know what they're supposed to look like. I think they look pretty good.
They look fine.
Reboot Camp. Marching on to Nintendo Switch this
Reboot
holiday.
Camp. Get it?
Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo
Get it?
eShop.
Reboot Camp?
Reboot Camp. Ah!
All right. This next segment
These
will
aren't
be the last
reboots, though, but
announcement of
that's
the day.
fine.
Please take a look.
How is everything? Honestly, I'm kind of nonplussed. Great, let's go to the next thing. Oh, cool.
What, you don't care about Kingdoms of Hyrule?
You mean Hyrule Warriors?
Sure. Which one? What is Kingdoms? Is that a different game?
Kingdoms of Amalur.
Kingdoms of Amalur. Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking. Of.
Kingdoms of Hyrule.
Kingdoms
Reckoning.
of Hyrule Reckoning.
Resurgence.
Honestly, that looked pretty sick.
Hey, we don't hate.
I like
this thing.
I'm the Dynasty Warriors liker here. I just never played this.
No, I like Dynasty Warriors.
Are you sure?
Oh, you know what happened? Hey, remember how they announced that they were going to shut down the PS3 and PSP and Vita stores?
Yeah.
So I heard about how they were going to shut it down. I didn't hear about how they changed their mind about that after everyone got mad at them. And so I went on the PS3 and was like, well, I have to buy every PS3 game that I ever wanted but decided not to get until now. And one of those was the 4th Dynasty Warriors Gundam game that only came out digitally. Because it released at $40 and they never lowered the price until this moment. It's still $40.
Wow.
But I have it now.
Why didn't you get that? Why didn't you just order a $5 copy of that off of eBay or something?
You didn't hear me.
Okay.
It only came out digitally.
Oh, it only came out digitally. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how they
So
get
they
you.
never had. That's how they got me, and they did. And I was about to be like, hey, Keith, I think I said to you, like, hey, you know how they're closing all those stores? And I was going to be like, I bought a bunch of the games. We should do a snooze button about it. And then I think you were like, yeah, they backpedaled on that. They're not doing it. And then I was like, well, now I can't make a snooze button out of admitting that I was an idiot who spent a bunch of money on stuff I didn't have to spend money on.
I disagree. We totally could have. We totally could have done that. Hey, as the only person to have played Skyward Sword, what do you think about this?
I think it's I can't wait for people to realize that this game isn't good.
What about
I'm actually really interested to hear what people's reactions to it will be, because there's like the story of the game, the cutscenes are more interesting than most Zelda cutscenes, but just everything else about it is so bad. Wait,
show that little thing again. What was that?
That's the Game & Watch.
Campaigns or other Nintendo Switch games planned. We've been working on this Game & Watch system as a special item to help mark the occasion and reflect fondly on the earliest days of The Legend of Zelda.
What?
It will come with the first game in the series, The Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
Zelda 2, The Adventure
So it's a
of Link,
Game & Watch, but it plays Zelda.
It's a Game & Watch shaped Zelda machine.
Zelda, Link's Awakening
Yeah.
game,
Oh?
as well as a special version
Okay.
of the Game & Watch title
Hey.
Vermin,
Hey.
starring
Okay.
Link as the playable character.
I want
You
that.
know-
I want that thing.
Games on one system.
Yeah,
For
sure.
more Legend of
Why
Zelda
not?
games,
It's
pick up
cute.
and play games
It has Link's Awakening. That's everything.
The Link's Awakening really puts it over the edge for me because,
Because that game rules.
you know, well, yeah, it's a good game, and yeah, like
It's always been my favorite, long time favorite of mine.
oh my god, I was wondering, that's the clock. That's so funny.
Both of them by taking control of Link.
I never gave Zelda 2 a fair shake, I don't think.
I have. It's terrible. I've given that game so many fair shakes, and it has only hurt
Yeah,
me.
I've tried to play it 3 times, and all 3 times I made it about 2 minutes in and was like,
Oh my
this
God.
is terrible.
Someone on the YouTube chat for this IGN stream is just like, gimmick, in like big caps.
Yeah.
Gimmick. It's like, yeah, sure.
Take a look.
You got him.
Yeah, wow, they're trying to sell you something.
Wow, Eiji Aonuma so owned.
Yeah. Everything I like.
I didn't hear what they said, but they're showing us a thing that looks like Breath of the Wild.
Does it now?
Are they?
This still looks like Skyward Sword because of being in the
What?
sky. Okay, now that looks like Breath of the Wild. God, Breath
What
of the Wild
is-
looks so good.
You're a little ahead of me. Oh,
Do you want me to pause it for like 2 seconds?
sure.
I'm at the okay. I'll narrate what's happening. He gets sucked through
I'm
the
glad.
thing.
I'm
he
glad
shook
they're
his head.
finally revealing. I love how the teaser made it look like you might play as Zelda, and I'm glad to know we're not doing that. It would totally ruin the hilarity of that Charlie Brown, Lucy holding the football meme about playing as Zelda if you got to play as Zelda.
$2022. That's not a real date, but it is a date.
So, what did you think? This time around, the setting for the adventure has been expanded to include the skies above Hyrule. We'd like to ask you to wait a bit longer. We're aiming for a 2022 release, so I hope you'll look forward to it.
How was that? That's all for this Nintendo Direct.
Okay.
We are diligently.
All right, it did
continuing
actually look like
development
there
on
was
a
two
number of
characters
other
there. I
games
don't
we
know.
didn't show today. I hope you'll continue looking forward to what's in store on Nintendo Switch.
Are they gonna do?
I think
Are they
it's-
gonna do? Oh, one more thing.
Everyone
like-
does that now.
Yeah, it doesn't
Like,
seem like
pe-
Nintendo
people-
style, but everyone has done it. So
Yeah, I think people just realize that like there's no advantage to not ending your thing with a trailer. And yet,
Nintendo.
Hi everyone.
Oh.
I'm Doug Bowser from
Okay.
Nintendo
Well, yeah, I
America,
guess
and I'm here with Nate
Breath of the
Bieldo,
Wild.
who
Oh,
leads
oh,
our
this is their
Treehouse team.
Treehouse stream.
Okay.
As you know,
It's
Adam
Doug Bowser.
all
Did they
about
not?
creating
Did they not
experiences that
show
deliver
any
surprises
Pokemon stuff, or
and
did I miss it because we missed the first couple
guess-
minutes?
found
Yeah, I
myself
guess they didn't
smiling
show any
through that
Pokemon.
entire presentation, thinking about how
Let's
many
re- let's
unique
rewind to
games
the
we'll be able to
beginning.
share with everyone.
Oh, someone in
Future
the chat.
presentation.
Oh, okay. I saw someone in the
still
chat
have
give
to
this
record a
10
first
out of
episode.
10, and then someone else gave it 1 out of 10. Now I'm seeing 0 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Keith, give this an out of 10.
Give the direct an out of 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
7, 6, 7. 6 or
I'll go
7.
5. 5.
5? Yeah, I'll go with 6.5. How about that?
Nintendo E3, 2 out of 10 at best. Huff, 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 huff.
Is that real? Someone say that?
As a huffed looking face. Yeah. This is disappointed.
Strange remake on a wild
Yeah,
ride.
I mean,
Oh,
I
someone is
almost-
giving this 100 out of 10.
I
I didn't even
almost
consider that.
only care about Pokemon as far as Nintendo goes, and they didn't really show any Pokemon, so. But I mean, there was nothing.
Wow.
I didn't say like, "Wow, Nintendo sure is in trouble." All of these games look like dog shit. I mean, Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time.
Well,
They said next
Yeah,
year there's probably going to be a new Breath of the Wild game. They showed the Metroid thing that I honestly wasn't expecting. Maybe they
oh yeah, there's a Metroid.
the Metroid Dread that looks fun as hell.
Okay.
Like that genuinely
Yeah, I
looked really
forgot.
good.
The golf thing looked kind of fun. maybe.
I saw the Shin Megami Tensei thing and I was like, maybe I would play Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, I saw that
maybe I
Shin
would do
Megami
that.
Tensei thing, and I was like, I'm not gonna play a Shin Megami Tensei.
How come?
Because I just haven't really enjoyed them, and also it's like that one looked like it was doing a whole like, it looked like they were changing up the battle system. But I would probably play an older Shin Megami Tensei if I wanted to get into it. Or there's like Persona 1 I never finished, and Persona 1 was like just a Shin Megami Tensei game.
Right.
So
yeah.
I could play Persona 1.
Yeah, I'm like not surprised
I-
that you saw a thing
I
called
tried-
Shin Megami Tensei 5 and said actually what I want to do is play Shin Megami Tensei 1. That seems
Yeah.
like exactly like what you would want to do.
Listen, it's not my fault that they keep making Shin Megami Tensei games that don't seem that interesting.
Cetaceous says Nocturne HD has been real fun so far. Yeah, that's the sort of last thing that I heard about that series was that came out and was fun.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
3, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other E3 thoughts? I thought Xbox, I mean, That was definitely the
Xbox
best
was
thing that I
great.
watched out of all of the different shows. The Xbox show was like the
Yep.
most worth my time, I think.
Yeah, definitely was the most worth anyone's time, I think. There's you wanted me to watch the Halo multiplayer thing. I assume mostly for the reveal that it's going to be free.
Well, we like Halo and we talk a lot about Halo, so I thought that
Yep.
that you would want to know that in addition to the Halo thing, they also had like a 12 minutes of online. Did you watch that? They showed like
no.
10 minutes of Halo multiplayer on their YouTube channel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It looks good. It looks fun.
Yeah, it looks good.
I
if anyone
can't
didn't
tell
see
if they
I was just going to say, if anyone didn't see the thing, what we're talking about is Halo multiplayer. I mean, Halo Infinite was already going to be on Game Pass, so it's going to be
even freer.
It's going to be no additional charge for anybody that has Game Pass, but also apparently the multiplayer of Infinite will just be regular ass free to play on PC and Xbox.
Yeah, which I think is like a pretty smart move.
Yeah, I think it's a totally smart move.
And like I think it's a pretty like from a business standpoint, like it's a pretty compelling loss leader to be like you can just play Halo multiplayer.
Well, now with all those modern microtransactions, is it even a loss leader at this point? Like free to play first person multiplayer shooter is just what everyone's doing to make money these days.
Yeah, but Halo 5's microtransaction was so lightweight. And the stuff that they announced for the Battle Pass, I don't know if you like process that. It took me a couple times of seeing it before I like got what they meant, but they're basically saying like the battle passes don't time out. You keep going until you finish it, which is nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so that's like a nice and then also they're cataloged so you can just, if there's one that you want, it doesn't go away. You pick which one that you want whenever you want.
Wait, sorry, say again?
Let's say that you buy Halo 12 seasons in, or not buy, download Halo 12 seasons in, and you decide you want to buy a battle pass. You have all 12 seasons of battle passes to access, and you pick which one you want.
That's cool.
Yeah, I still think that I like how Halo 5 did it more, where I never felt like there was anything I was missing by not buying packs, because they
I know,
just
and again, you do hear when you say it, you hear why that sounds different to somebody at Microsoft trying to make money off of Halo than it does to us, right?
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, that's why they're not doing it anymore.
Right, but like presumably I had to either buy the game or have Game Pass.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So they've been like. So now they're locking stuff behind a battle pass that you have to buy, but you don't have to have Game Pass at all. So it's like it's not quite a wash. It's slightly worse.
Now but the upside is you can convince your friends to try playing Halo without them having to buy the game.
Yeah,
or
true.
an Xbox.
And or an X. That's the biggest thing for me is that that no one has to have an Xbox. Which I think people should maybe think about having an Xbox. I think my Xbox is really good, but
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean it's now that they at the end of the Xbox press conference they put like a calendar on screen that was like here's a calendar and all of these months have these games in them. Look at that. You know how your Xbox doesn't have any games for it right now? Here's the calendar that shows that will soon not be so true. And I thought that was a pretty compelling image. It definitely was reassuring as someone that has had an Xbox since December or something. That that there's going to actually be games on it soon.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just seeing the chat for this Treehouse stream is still going, and so I had to see what everyone was getting mad about. And the chat is mad that they're showing Metroid 5 instead of showing an update for Animal Crossing. this is the world we live in.
Yeah, fuck off. People in chats like that just.
I know it's IGN. It's there.
Oh, you think
there
it's IGN?
There couldn't be a worse channel to look at the chat for.
I don't really know what IGN's vibe is right now. It is to me. When I think of IGN, I just think of like, where is a site that has articles about video games but zero personality? And so I'm like, oh, IGN. That's IGN. They have no
people.
They don't have opinion. They just have, which is not true. I'm sure they have opinion, tons of editorial shit, but
I haven't paid very close attention to IGN in a long time. But my understanding of like IGN's current space that they're playing in is like, I mean, first of all, it's mostly video, like talk shows and stuff, right? Like that's their thing. I think, everyone do video now. Nobody's writing anymore. That's not a job.
No.
You actually can't write about video games and get paid for it.
No. It's against the law if you do.
But yeah, I mean, I just imagine IGN is what IGN has always been, which is just like the broadest, most like mass, like, it's going to be the lowest common denominator of video game fans. Like whatever the most number of video game fans appreciate, that's what IGN is doing.
Yeah.
I imagine that's what IGN's thing is. So I think the video game rabble goes to IGN, I would imagine.
Alan in the chat says, wait, so Halo is free now for multiplayer, so I don't have to buy it? Sorry, it came in late. Yeah, Halo
that is
Infinite,
correct.
When it comes out this holiday, so I guess... Oh, they put a date. Was it November 11th? Am I getting that wrong? Was it something else that got announced for November? I think they said holiday.
Starfield is November 11th next year.
Next year, right. I got those confused.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So when Halo Infinite comes out, the multiplayer will be free. But then, besides Halo 5, all the other Halos are already... They cost whatever Game Pass costs on PC. So close to, but not quite free. The only Halo left that you have to have an Xbox for is Halo 5, which is a shame because it is really good. You had fun playing with me the other day.
Not as much fun as I have when I play Halo 4, though. That's the sad reality.
That is a sad reality because of how little fun I have playing Halo 4.
That's not my fault. That's a you problem.
Should we play?
Listen,
the game?
I think the thing is, I just think what happened with us is I got way into Halo 4 and you skipped it a little bit, and then we just traded Halo 5. You got way deep into Halo 5 and I kind of skipped it.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I've played it in Master Chief Collection, and it just like never really hits for me. What's that?
This Metroid looks nice.
Yeah, it does. Should I play this game? Do you have anything else to say about E3? Like, the biggest takeaway that I had was that I just kind of enjoyed watching it for the first time in a really long time.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought it was pretty rough. I mostly watched Nextlander watching all of them because I didn't think almost any of the videos were worth watching on their own. Though Xbox would have held my attention all the way through, probably.
I mean, to be fair, I also watched like restreamed with commentary, mostly the Nextlander and Waypoint stuff, but that's how I would watch it anyway, and I still don't like them.
I like kind of jotted down some games as I saw them that looked pretty cool. They announced Rocksmith Plus, which was like, new Rocksmith, cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Riders Republic looked pretty cool. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes,
one.
I did. I really liked that.
Yeah, that looked really cool. It looked like it had a number of different types of gameplay. So I hope,
it looked
I
like
hope they
had...
don't spread themselves too thin on that front.
You know what it reminded me of? There was for when I was a kid, one of my favorite games was this shitty racing game, X Games racing game, where it was a simultaneous race between skateboarders, cyclists, rollerbladers, and street luge. And so it was like,
who got there first?
it was time trials. It was time trials and slaloms and challenge modes. And it was like, do you want to be a skateboarder or do you want to be a street luge? And that game was so much fun for the PS1. I loved that game. And it sort of reminded me of that, but like, what if it maybe was really good? Because it was cycling, it was skateboarding, there was snowboarding, there was wingsuiting, there was jetpacks, and who knows what else? Hang gliding. I think I saw paramotoring in there.
Yeah, there was definitely wingsuits with rocket packs in that game for sure.
Yeah. Which is a real thing that I've seen. I mean, it's not a sport.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm sure
a couple companies make these horrible wings, like jet-powered wingsuits, but
it's not a sport unless you could consider a life-threatening situation that you take on purpose as a type of sport.
Wingsuiting is a sport, like without non-powered wingsuiting, and that's definitely a life-threatening situation. Football is a life-threatening situation that you take on purpose.
Keith, I'm still waiting to be proven wrong. You're just agreeing with me
that it's a sport. Yeah, you said it's not a sport unless life-threatening situations that you take on.
Unless you consider that specifically a sport.
Yeah,
it sounds like you do.
I do. Yeah. I do
there was
consider that a sport.
Trek to Yomi looked pretty cool. It was like,
which one was that?
It was that thing where first I just thought it was a Ghost of Tsushima trailer, but it was actually like, what if it was like a 2D side-scrolling action game inspired by black and white samurai films.
Yes, that also looked good.
Phantom Abyss looked really cool. That was some kind of like it was some kind of game that seemed to be about like running through temples with tons of like a first person
the proc gen
parkour
temples
game. Yes. There are like all these deadly temples, and you can see the ghosts of other players that have attempted that temple and the Runatars. The Runatars are there. You can see their ghosts for the people who didn't make it. But I thought what was really interesting is that only one person will ever finish any temple. So every level you're playing, no one's ever beaten that level before. So the ghosts that you're seeing are like, when you beat it, you'll be the first one, which is kind of a neat
artificial
idea.
Scarcity to me.
Well, I guess we don't like it then. The other thing was
I think that game looked really cool. The thing that I like about it is that like as you get closer and closer to beating the temple, the benefit of having the Runatars with you, like there's just going to be fewer and fewer people whose paths you can mimic or learn from, I think that's pretty cool.
I also wrote down Inscription with a Y in the middle.
Yeah.
That I don't really remember at this point what it was, but it was some kind of like board game thing.
It was like a board game, card game, like escape room horror thing.
Yes.
It was not clear what the minute to minute gameplay was going to look like.
Yeah.
But the trailer was such a fucking cool thing. Like I remember like watching it and being like, okay, it's some kind of card game. Wait, no, now they're like walking around the room and is this the room now? It's the room, but also there's a board game you're playing, or is it some kind of Jumanji-esque something or other? It looked very interesting. Speaking of trailers who did not exactly communicate what playing the game was going to be like, but still looked like something I was interested in. What?
Just letting you know, I'll be right back. Please keep telling me.
Contraband. It was just not a still image, but a still CG scene where they just moved through it while Steely Dan played, and it was called Contraband. It said there was a picture that said an open world, and then there was another picture that said co-op, and I expected there to be another picture to finish that sentence, an open world co-op something, but there wasn't. So I guess it wasn't supposed to be a sentence. It was just supposed to be two facts. But it's going to be an open world co-op, and Steely Dan, and I guess your...
Wait. Wasn't the I thought open world was the second thing. Wasn't there something in the trailer that was more explicit about like these are heists?
It did
Like,
say heist somewhere, I think.
Yeah, it
yeah.
seems like what they mean is like co-op open world heist game. But
there were photos. There were photos
yeah,
hanging
yeah.
from a line that I'm pretty sure said an open world and then co-op. And I really thought they were going to finish that sentence by showing more pictures, and they didn't.
Because they didn't need to.
They didn't need to. So they showed even less than Encryption did. But what I did really like it, and I do really like Steely Dan, and I just want to say I liked Steely Dan before liking Steely Dan was a meme. I always liked them. I'm the winner.
Sorry, Keith, you weren't born before liking Steely Dan was a meme.
Yes, I was.
I know.
I
I just mean, some bands have a cachet. And I feel like Steely Dan was always one of those, even since we were born, it was one of those bands that had more cachet than fame.
Yeah. Well, they got all that cachet from being where Chevy Chase got his start.
What?
Chevy Chase was the original drummer of Steely Dan, and he quit to become a comedian right before they made it big.
Oh, bummer.
But then he made it big in a much more annoying way.
Yeah. When I said bummer, I meant bummer for all of us. Great for Steely Dan. I'm sure they dodged a real bullet.
Can you imagine how much of an entitled asshole Chevy Chase would have been if he was a rock star instead of a comedian?
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah,
probably the same.
You think so?
He'd probably be exactly the same because he was like rock. He was a rock star comedy actor.
Well, then maybe we do live in the best case scenario because Steely Dan went on to make a bunch of really good music, and we got Fletch out of the deal.
Of course, I haven't seen it.
Fletch is great. It is my epitomizing 80s movie. It's sort of a character-driven comedy with no real comedy in it, but it's still really good.
Yep. What is the movie that I think has Chevy Chase where he like I think it's literally just one of those like city slickers move to a country town kind of plots, but like I just remember that one of the things is that all phones in that town are pay phones. What? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No,
like
I have no clue.
Like I remember one of the gags is like Chevy Chase moves into his new house and picks up the phone to make a phone call, and it's like, please insert 15 cents to continue, and he's like, what? This is just a regular phone. What the fuck? And like he tries to like put a jar of change next to the phone and like drop a coin in, but it doesn't work. And then like then later in the movie, there's like a montage of showing that the character is adjusting to life in the town, and it's that he has someone come and install a payphone in his kitchen.
That's really weird. I have no idea what this is.
I think it, I believe I saw it on Comedy Central, so I'm sure it was just one of those movies that was very cheap to show on basic cable or something.
Yeah, that's so bizarre. I'm looking just at titles of movies he's been in to try to think of like, hey, do any of these titles scream guy who has a payphone in his house? Not really.
What was funny about it was when I saw it at the time, I saw his thing where he tries to drop try to make a coin dropping sound next to the phone and see if that works. And as a kid, I remember seeing that and going, well, that's the dumbest thing. I know it's just a movie, but obviously that would never really work. And later I found out that's basically how telephones did everything. It was just based on
tones.
what sounds got played into the line.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't see anything on here that would be without how, and I'm not going to read all the synopses of all these different things.
I could be misremembering. It might not have been Chevy Chase, but all I remember is that I don't think it was the Money Pit.
Great. That helps.
Yeah, I hope that narrows it down. It wasn't the Money Pit with Tom Hanks.
Right. Could it have been a Steve Martin movie?
Oh.
I mean, very different guy, but they have kind of similar.
I suppose it could happen.
They have kind of they had kind of an overlapping look for a little while.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase looks
here.
kind of like if you smashed up Steve Martin and Harrison Ford.
Oh my god, did you see that fucking tweet that was like, wow, I can't believe Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista got into a horrible car accident and fused into one person?
That's pretty funny. No, I didn't see that.
And of course it is like a shot of those two like apparently they were in a movie together and they were in a car at some point in that movie, so it's like screenshot of them in a car together and then screenshot of what Kumail Nanjiani looks like now, and it's like, oh my god, he ate and absorbed Dave Bautista.
How did we get on this?
I was like, did you see that movie with Chevy Chase?
There is a Chevy Chase Country Home movie, says David.
And what is that?
And what is it? We were talking about Contraband, which has Steely Dan, which used to have Chevy Chase.
I bet this was a 90s comedy, so I'm going through the 90s here. Nothing But Trouble. What's that?
Do you want to talk about Starfield for 1 second? Which is the longest possible amount of time you can talk about Starfield?
Man of the House. No, this is a Jonathan Taylor Thomas vehicle. And it's not Nothing But Trouble.
Yeah, I promise that if there was something that seemed like it would have been it, I already looked at it and it's not.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I already looked at that one.
We'll drop the extremely boring Chevy Chase speculation and get back to the real meat of why people are here.
Yeah,
which is.
Do you want to talk about Starfield for 1 minute? Which is, my joke was the longest amount of time you could possibly talk about Starfield.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what could you possibly say for longer than
that?
Well,
I just had heard. I kind of was expecting them to show more of it.
I'm sorry, real quick. This is kind of, it goes along with this thing. My last note was, I thought Todd Howard would have just been shot behind a barn or something, but here he is, I guess.
Yeah, on it. He gets to do his little show. Go out there, Todd Howard. Do your little show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
He did fine. I agree. I think the lack of audience really helped Todd's watchability.
Can you imagine, like, if this was a live show, there would have been 3 applause breaks penciled in just for what they announced for Fallout 76.
Oh,
can you imagine having to sit through that?
Did they announce anything for Fallout 76?
Yeah, they announced a whole expansion thing for it. Yeah. And then anytime a game came out and said that it was going to be optimized for Series X and S, they would have held their hands apart. They would have done like a sort of like arms open thing. They would have said optimized for Series X and S, and then there would have been a pause for applause, like they weren't obviously going to be doing that. So the thing about Starfield was that right before they showed Starfield, like minutes before, the thing that they showed leaked, and then it was so nothing that I couldn't believe that anyone could even care that it leaked. I mean, it was almost so
I didn't know that it leaked.
Yeah, it leaked like 10 minutes before the Microsoft Bethesda show started. So people were like, can you believe that it leaked? I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on the Waypoint thing. They talked a little bit with the Nextlander guys about how, about leak. Austin told the story about I can't remember who it was. Someone being mad at him because Vice leaked something, and he had to be like, "That's not me. I'm not Vice.
Right,
That's a separate company."
Yes.
And then the show started. They showed the Starfield thing, and I was like, they just showed a ship and a person in a ship. There wasn't anything. I think that Vice thing, I think that was an anecdote from the past, if I remember correctly. It was about Starfield. No, it wasn't about Starfield. No, that's not what I was saying. Oh. They were sharing stories about times that they've been in trouble for leaking things or getting things wrong.
Yeah. I think I found the Chevy Chase movie.
Was it Funny Farm?
I think it was Funny Farm.
David
which
put
was
that in
suggested
there.
by Robodendron in the chat.
Oh,
so, yeah, I think it was Funny Farm.
David beat out Robodendron just by a second on the YouTube side.
Oh, okay.
I can see the multi-stream thing. But
well, apparently, unfortunately, I'm gonna fall on the Robodendron side of this schism,
wow,
and
this
I
is
am
gonna be a
prepared to go
beef.
to war over it. Yeah.
Elden Ring, do you care about that?
I care. I do. I care more now that I saw the trailer, and I went, "Oh, okay. So it definitely is just the next Souls game."
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think I forget what they showed, like what the teaser was years ago, and they announced that. But people have been rabidly anticipating this game based on pretty much nothing beyond who's involved with it for years. And I never really understood why people were so out of their minds with excitement about it. But now that I've seen footage of it, I'm like, yeah, now I'm excited because it looks like a good video game. The end. That's how I feel about it. They showed a trailer. It looked real good. I'm excited.
It looked real Dark Soulsy. I'll say that.
It looked surprisingly Dark Soulsy.
There was that bull that people keep calling a horse. Yeah, there was this thing that was clearly a bull that had horns that people keep saying was a horse.
Oh, Keith, I'm sorry, you don't understand. In the Souls universe, horses are much beefier and they have horns.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
Okay. Yeah, there's a person riding a bull and it gets like launched up the side of a cliff. That was cool, and people called that a horse, and I was like, that's clearly not a horse.
Wait, are you sure they're not talking about? It looks like one of the big different. Whether they showed off horse riding in the trailer, which is a new thing for a Souls game. Maybe you're thinking of the horse riding.
Maybe, but there was a thing that was definitely a bull that someone was riding, and it gets shot up the side of a mountain.
Let's go watch. You know what? Why don't we both watch the Elden Ring trailer together right now? You can.
Okay.
Want to do like a 3, 2, 1, and we can get play or whatever.
Okay, sure. I can do that. That seems like a little long to me, but I'll do it anyway. Here, let's do the GameSpot one. That showed up first for me.
Give me a link.
Okay. Here you go. All right, so I have it loaded up and paused and dragged all the way back to 0.
Okay.
So let me know when you're there.
As do I.
All right. 3, 2. We're gonna click on go. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Up there's a horse. Horse right there. Frame 1. It's a horse.
It could have been a moose.
It could have been a moose. We didn't get to see.
All we saw was a snout.
It could have an
like
enormous rack of antlers.
The tarnished will soon
return. We're the tarnished now. We're not the hallowed or the undead. We're the tarnished.
Once lost.
That's different. I won't explain why that's different, but it is.
Extremely sick tree. I love that tree.
The golden order is broken to its core.
Don't know what the golden order is, but that's fine.
Oh, but we'll learn. Oh, look, that's a Dark Souls.
Nope, there it is. See? Wait, you see? See the horns?
Okay, wait.
It's got horn. It literally has horns.
Okay, but it is definitely a horse though. What if it's wearing like a helmet? What if it's like a horse helmet? Oh my god, that is just a horse with horns.
Yeah.
That's just a horse with horns. And now we solved it.
I think the horns suggest that it's not just a horse. Because then later you do see it launch up the side of a cliff, which a horse also can't do.
Well, I mean, this is a fantasy world, Keith. So I was merely suggesting that the closest real world analog that we have is a horse.
See that? And I'm gonna go back. Oh.
And you know what? You're right. I do agree that a regular horse could not do that. That's something only a bull can do, which means it's a bull.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Maybe we should call it a horse bull.
Horrible. I don't like horrible because it sounds like horrible.
Okay. So instead, we'll call it a Borse.
That's way better.
Bolorse, yeah, that's.
It has an unctuous mouthfeel.
Ooh.
I stopped watching, by the way.
Okay.
I got to the part where it launches up the cliff, and I was like, I've seen all I need to see about this.
Okay. You know, I still have to play through Dark Souls 2 and 3. I guess I didn't realize the stories of those games end up wrapping around and being about the story of the first Dark Souls game.
Really? You didn't just
apparently.
assume?
No, it's real. I guess I'm like it's more direct than I realized before. So now I'm like worried, like, nah, shit. Am I gonna play Dark Souls 3 and find out that they ruined all of the Dark Souls story? I don't know. Find out.
Why are you assuming that they're gonna ruin it and not that it ended up being really good?
Nah, I heard some stuff.
Why are you out here hearing stuff?
I can't control what I hear.
I don't
know. What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like you like Dark Souls so much, but every time you think about Dark Souls, you're always assuming the worst about it.
Listen, it's just it's a beautiful, perfect thing, and I don't want it ruined.
Do you see that?
I mean, really, what was happening was what I found is I thought like, oh, I'll go read a bunch of Dark Souls story stuff, but I actually can't do that until I beat Dark Souls 3, because it turns out that people will just start telling you stuff about the story from Dark Souls 3 when you're reading about Dark Souls 1 now. So I'm like, okay, I guess no one's gonna stop me from getting spoiled on this, so I'm just gonna have to play the game.
Did you see the Square thing?
I did see the Square thing.
It was so bad.
Insofar as they showed anything, I guess.
Yeah, they showed 45 minutes of a medium bad looking Avengers game or Guardians of the Galaxy game, and then that maybe was it. I don't think they showed anything else.
They announced that they showed a 12-second trailer announcing the fact that they finally decided to stop ruining their old Final Fantasy games on purpose, and they're gonna release good versions that they're calling the pixel remakes, which what they mean is we're not ruining the art of our old games anymore. We're just gonna re-release them.
They still are mobile games,
really
though.
Exciting. They are still, and PC, mobile and PC.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd think they'd try to get them onto a console.
I think people are quite happy with playing old RPGs on their phone.
But all those old, really bad, all those bad remakes were all mobile games, though.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mean anything that they're mobile and PC only, but.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I mean is Square sure has been focusing on Final Fantasy mobile releases for like over a decade, and they're not stopping, so they must be paying off, I guess. I don't know. But then again, actually, I'm sorry. Square Enix has a proven track record of never knowing what they're doing with anything, so I take it back. They're flying blind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true.
They had that. I heard a leak beforehand about one of the games they announced, and it sounded a lot more interesting than it ended up being, which was that thing about the thing where the guy's just wearing like a button-up shirt, but he's got a big sword and he's yelling about killing chaos a lot.
Yeah.
So you probably didn't pick up on this. That's a remake of Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, so it's like they're redoing Final Fantasy 1, but like this time it takes place in some kind of like bizarre, I'm going to say in quotes, heady mix of like modern aesthetic and I don't know, it just looks like Final Fantasy 15 threw up on Final Fantasy 1, I guess.
Right.
Like whatever the aesthetic of Final Fantasy 15 was, they were like, what if we did Final Fantasy 1 but this? And it's made by the Neo team, which was like a Dark Souls clone. If I'm being extremely uncharitable, I'm just going to call it a Dark Souls clone.
Okay, fair.
So they got the Neo people. They're making it, but it didn't look very Dark Souls-y.
No, it didn't look very good either.
No, it didn't. The
Um,
end. What else did Square Enix show?
they showed like 2 minutes or 3 minutes worth of new Avengers stuff.
Oh, they sure did. I can't wait for the Black Panther in my Avengers game.
Oh, Neo, Nioh.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I've heard people really liked that game.
Yeah. I also heard that.
Yeah. And there's a Neo 2 coming out.
I think it's already out.
It's
It must be already out.
there could be 2 teams. No, okay, came out. It did come out. Yeah. Neo
that's
2.
right. It did come out, motherfucker. Get out of my face.
Maybe there's a third one coming out?
It originally came out last March.
Oh, it's Team Ninja.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's Team Ninja.
Okay. Maybe it's specifically the Neo team from Team Ninja, but I don't know.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, Team
Wow,
Ninja.
Team Ninja is the Neo people now, huh? Okay, sure.
Yeah, Team Ninja are there. Originally, they were the Dead or Alive people, and
then they
in
were the
certain
Ninja
circles,
Gaiden
they're the
people.
Ninja Gaiden people. So depending on who you ask, they're either the Neo people, the Dead or Alive people, or the Ninja Gaiden people.
Sounds very funny.
You know, if
sorry,
you ask
Keith,
Kylie, they're the Metroid Other M people.
Damn it! You beat me to it.
Sorry. That's so weird. Good for Team Ninja.
Hey, good for you remembering that Team Ninja made Metroid Other M. I know that was not an easy pull for Keith Carberry.
No, it was not. Team Ninja. What a weird. So, I mean, Team Ninja, that's a big enough developer that they've got multiple teams working on different projects. So
I'm sure they could. I don't
so
know.
who knows who knows what it means that Team Ninja is making this game? You know?
Maybe it'll be great.
Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. That's a bad name, by the way.
Yes, that's what it's called. Stranger of Paradise?
Paradise. But the A is big. The second A in Paradise is big. I noticed that.
Stranger of Paradise. Paradise. Like if you just had 2 dice?
Yeah, like a paradise.
Yeah.
Which they also announced that new Battlefield game. Speaking of Paradise.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Battlefield title they announced was probably the only Battlefield title that could have gotten me excited, which was Battlefield 2142. Unfortunately, the trailer that they showed just looked like every other Battlefield game ever made.
Yeah.
And that didn't leave me feeling like it was going to give me what I wanted from a 2142 game.
2042?
21.
21? Are you sure?
Yeah. Wait. Oh, I don't know anymore. Is it?
I think you're wrong and that I'm right.
I think I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's specifically not 2142 because it was near future, not far future.
Well, no. Yeah, this new one is 2042, and I guess the old one I was thinking of was 2142.
Yeah.
It was. Shit. Damn
Yeah.
it. Okay. Sorry, of course, because that 100 years in between those two games, that's when all the cool mech shit came out. Oh, that's so fucking lame.
Yeah.
So Battlefield 2142 was an expansion for Battlefield 2 that came out in 2006, and it wasn't that well received for a number of reasons. But I mean, it was Battlefield, and it had mechs, and there was like a cool mode where you had to you had to invade like the other team's like weird spaceship that's floating over the battlefield, and they had this moment that they kind of crafted after the opening scene from Star Wars that where you all like hunker down in a hallway and then like wait for like the other team to breach through the door, and it had some fun moments.
To be fair,
and then
I think that you're right that it didn't have an immediately positive reception because it was kind of buggy, but I think people ended up really liking 2142. It, in my mind, it remains one of people's along with the Battlefield Hard Company games remains like
Bad Company.
Yeah, remains like what I think of as people's favorite Battlefields.
Okay. Huh. I mean, maybe it's one of those games where, maybe the people maybe the people reviewing the games, it wasn't for them, but people that were like younger like us who were playing the games really liked it or something. I think I mostly just played the free multiplayer demo. I don't think I actually bought the game, so I can't actually be like it was great. I just know I had fun with the demo.
I remember Ted liked it. My cousin Ted.
But yeah, so watching the trailer for Battlefield 2042 and being like, where are the robots? Where are the spaceships? Boo, this is stupid. And now I realize why I thought that.
It's got an 80 on Metacritic.
Because of course mechs won't be invented. Mechs won't be battle ready until at least another 100 years, and I think we know that.
Yeah, I think we all know that. Yeah, it has a 2142 has an 80 on Metacritic. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's fine. And that's it. That is, I think, that is including negative scores because of its buggy release.
Okay, yeah.
So
it's interesting. Like, I wonder, because Battlefield 2, it was an interesting time because Battlefield 2 was kind of like one of the first really big notable like modern military shooters, and most games up until that point had been like World War II shooters. So I wonder if people just really weren't ready for the future version because they were still in that honeymoon of like, I'm a real soldier doing real war type stuff. You know how 2006 was.
Yeah, I remember back then when gamers were stealing all that valor.
That's the year before Call of Duty 4. This is a pre-Call of Duty 4 game.
Yeah.
Where they came out and changed the game.
They changed the world.
Shooter game.
Yeah, they did. It was so which by the way, immediately preceding Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was Battlefield 2 Modern Combat.
Right. That was what 2142 was an expansion of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They didn't even really. Yeah, the title of Call of Duty 4 was kind of just a ripoff of Battlefield.
Totally was.
Title. Yeah.
Which by the way, we all know when Call of Duty actually peaked, and it was with Call of Duty 2: Big Red 1.
I don't think anyone thinks that.
Yeah, everyone thinks that that's the best Call of Duty game.
What?
Yeah, we all think the Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1.
I mean the one where they got in trouble because the screenshots on the box didn't look like what the game actually looked like.
I don't know.
I think the Big Red 1 was like one where they got in trouble for like something like putting PC screenshots on the console box, or like releasing like a console trailer but not telling that all the gameplay in the trailer was from the PC version or something like that.
Let's see.
But you're joking, right? Call of Duty Big Red 1 is the one nobody likes.
I like that one. That was one that I liked. Call of Duty 2 was a favorite Call of Duty of mine for the Xbox 360. And when Big Red 1 came out, I rented it from Blockbuster, and it had a better multiplayer than Call of Duty 2 did.
What?
Yes.
On console?
Yes.
You mean, okay.
On Xbox, yes. I rented it from Blockbuster.
That's cool.
Call of Duty 2, I really liked. And Big Red 1.
What's the titular Big Red 1?
I believe that the Big Red 1... What is the Big Red 1? I don't remember. Big Red 1.
The Wikipedia page doesn't even have... It's sparse. It doesn't even mention any kind of...
The Big Red 1 is a 1980 epic war film directed by Samuel Fuller.
The game features several actors from the HBO miniseries Band of Brothers. Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actors from Band of Brothers. Jesus.
The U.S. soldier, now a sergeant in the Big Red One. So I think the Big Red One is the Big Red. It is the patch of the United States Army's 1st Infantry Division. That's what it is. So it's the U.S. Army's 1st Infantry Division, I guess, in the African front of World War II.
Great. We love that.
Yeah. But yeah, I really thought that the multiplayer of the Big Red One was an improvement upon Call of Duty 2's base game multiplayer, and that Call of Duty peaked there.
I do know that I don't know how familiar you are with this. Call of Duty 2 on this was back when like PC and console had not like fully merged yet, and they felt like separate things. And I remember a lot of people being like, Call of Duty 2 on PC, like every other version of Call of Duty 2 is like a joke compared to this version. Like I don't, I totally believe you that Big Red 1 had a better multiplayer system on console, but I think the thing about that on PC was that people already liked the multiplayer of original Call of Duty 2. Wait, Big Red 1 was only on console, wasn't it?
I think so. But
Okay,
I never played Call of Duty 2 on
yeah.
PC. I only ever played it on Xbox.
It's got okay ratings. It's got 70s, 78, 75,
Peaked.
77. What do people say about Big Red 1?
I'm like mostly being facetious. I obviously played more Modern Warfare than any other game. Any other Call of Duty.
What does computer and video games think about Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1?
Big Red 1. The thing
IGN gave it an 8 of 5. Ultimately, it's a game of straightforward shooting, but one directed with such care that it really shouldn't be neglected. Don't neglect Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1.
No, don't neglect it. Don't try to bury it just because
now they're playing Mario Party on the Nintendo stream. Just in case you wanted to know.
I didn't.
Okay.
Hey, do you even have time to play Psychonauts?
I don't know. Let me go ask my roommate. I don't know what happened with this. We were supposed to leave already. Hang on.
Oh, did my the Xbox auto shut off? Couldn't tell if it was still loading or if it was frozen. Oh, nice. Love to see that. Look at that. You see that?
No, I don't. Obviously, I don't see it. You have to screen share with me.
Pretty sure that I already had screen shared with you.
No, well, I'm pretty sure you have.
I literally already am screen sharing with you. So.
Oh, it's doing that thing again.
I was pretty sure
it treats your voice and your screen share as two different people.
Yeah, that's actually a convenient thing. That's for convenience sake.
I've just never seen that happen with anyone else.
Yeah,
except you.
Well,
it's fine. I see it now. Yeah, I think I don't know if my roommate could be asleep. My roommate could have decided they were going to walk themselves for their
Look at it.
test. They might be feeling better than yesterday, and so now they are not worried that they have COVID. It's unclear.
Did you see that?
What, the opening animation of Xbox?
Yeah, I love to see that. I mean, I literally love to see
we all love to see that. Oh, Majesco. We all love to see Majesco.
And you can hear the game?
Yeah, I could, if it could go a little louder, that'd be great.
You can... Oh, no, you can't.
Oh, but I can, actually.
What do you mean?
I even had it 79%.
Are you talking about the stream, though? Because it's not coming in through the stream. It's coming in through my mic.
Oh, through your mic?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I do still need that. Here's Psychonauts, where I think we're playing Psychonauts because they finally showed a trailer of Psychonauts 2.
A game I've never played and barely even seen, so it's been on my list. I own this game in, like, 4 ways, so...
Yeah, I've owned this since it got re-released on Xbox 360.
Look at me on this brain, and I can jump, and there's only a ton of lag on that. Look how much I can jump.
Why are you playing in OBS? Are you just streaming OBS?
I'm just streaming OBS. Well, so okay, but
so this seems to be some kind of main menu.
Yep, I found that door to the game.
Can you get me more game volume?
600 miles of synaptic fiber, 5.5 ounces of cranial fluid.
How's that?
1,500 grams of complex neural matter.
How's that?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
3-pound pile of dreams. But I'll tell you what it really is. It is the ultimate battlefield and the ultimate weapon. The wars of this modern age, the psychic age, are all fought somewhere between these damp, curvaceous undulations. From this day forward, you are all psychic soldiers, paranormal paratroopers, mental marines who are about to ship out on the adventure of their lives. This is our beachhead, and this is your landing craft. You shall engage the enemy in his own mentality. You shall chase his dreams. You shall fight his demons. You shall live his nightmares. And those of you who fight well, you will find yourselves on the path to becoming international secret agents. In other words, Psychonauts. The rest of you will die.
Oh, Maury.
Children, you are not going to die.
Well, if you're not a psychonaut, then you might as well be dead.
They told me this was a summer camp. Ah, Dogen, don't worry about old Coach Oleander. I've been coming here for years, and trust me, nothing ever happens.
Yeah, Dogen, Lily's right. You don't got nothing to worry about. Except for that giant monster in the lake I was telling you about.
Bobby Zilch, I told you to stop scaring people with that ridiculous old legend. I don't want the kids to be afraid to go out at night and walk alone on the perfectly safe paths of Whispering Rock Psychic.
Obviously, Lake Monster are real.
And we don't want to scare our special guests, superstar Psychonauts Sasha 9 and Mia Vodello.
This show seems great. I don't know why people are complaining that it gets frustrating later on. It hasn't asked anything of me yet.
No, it hasn't asked anything of me.
Quick, bring it over here.
What is it?
It's just a little boy. What's your name, darling?
I'll find out.
I'm the main character from Jet Grind Radio.
My name
Starts with a D.
is Rasputin. But everybody calls me Raz.
Please don't kill us, Lake
Wow, extremely cool.
Compelling. Armored like a tank.
Sorry I'm late. I don't want to disrupt your briefing, Agent Oleander. Agent's not.
Whose fucking voice is this?
Please, continue.
Yeah, it's super familiar.
Think you're going?
You've broken into a highly classified remote government
I'm sure you'll remember it in a second.
Isn't it great? Listen, why don't I just sit over here quietly with my fellow Psychonauts? Hey, how's it going? I like your hat.
We need to have this young man taken from here immediately.
I'll call his parents.
What? But don't you train Psychonauts here?
Yes, darling, but...
To soar across the astral plane. To wage psychic warfare against the enemies of free thought.
That is what I wrote on the front of the pamphlet.
Those words are why I'm here, Coach Oleander. Do you remember what you wrote on the inside of that pamphlet? You were born with a special gift. But the people around you treat it like a curse. Your mother is afraid of you. And your father looks at you with shame in his eyes. Come to Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, and you can show them all. Back home, your powers make you a loner, an outcast,
Oh,
a circus
of
freak.
course.
But in this dojo,
What's up?
I looked up this actor on IMDb.
they make you a hero.
Losers who are a little bit younger than us will probably know them as one of the main actors in Invader Zim, but you and I will know them as the voice of Daggett from the Angry Beavers.
Yes. Yes, it's totally Daggett. I mean, it's as Daggett as you could be.
In any paranormal training without your parents' consent. I'm sorry.
Wowie, you're so lucky. You get to go home soon.
Home? Back there, I was just like you were, Dogen. Punished by my own family for having powers I never asked for. But here, I have a chance to be something.
This is like shockingly watchable for when this game was made.
Totally, yeah.
Games were not making cutscenes like this back then.
The boy. What they're going to find, what they don't expect, is Raz, the Psychonaut.
And then you'll make their heads explode?
No. Do you do that?
No. Well, once kinda. But wanna try it on?
No.
But he has mental defenses like I've never seen in someone so young. If I could just get him in my lab for some experiments, I'm sure he could withstand more than the others.
That kid's 1 in a million, Nine. But I'm not gonna let you turn him into one of your guinea pigs. I've got big plans for that mind.
That sad character who wants to go home also sounds really familiar.
Mm.
Might be
wow,
Great
now
Delisle.
you're choosing a profile. Do you remember what that character's name was?
No. Create a profile. I guess this is. Sure. There's nothing wrong with Raz. Why change it?
I'm always saying that. Should change it to Rasputin to be proper.
All right, settle down in here.
What was your guess?
Great
I
Delisle?
want to see each and every one of you runs in my classroom at 0600 hours on the dot. I'm the early
What's
bird,
that name here?
and you're the worms. Got it? Now, lights out.
Let's see. Voice cast Psychonauts.
We have to learn what the character's name is before we can look it up.
Yeah.
Okay, quick eye exam before we start. Huh? Look over that way, if you will. No, that way.
Wow, what's that?
Oh, that's a psi challenge marker. The staff scatters these all over the camp to test the students. Every one of these you find advances you a whole rank.
Uh-huh.
Now look up for
My-
me, if you will.
my memory of this was kind of like I was really taken with the characters and the cutscenes and stuff, but as soon as I started playing it, I realized like, oh, this is like an extremely generic type, like 3D platformer type game, which now I like, but at the time I think it just felt extremely played out. I'm like, oh, this is old stuff. I already played Mario 64.
And then when do I become a Psychonaut? Because I have to do that before my dad shows up to take me home. Hey, where'd he go? That guy looks so familiar.
Stoidles is pretty sure you're thinking of Dogen, and Dogen is voiced by Nika Futterman, who is also Asajj Ventress in the Clone Wars.
Ah. That's fun.
Not Great Lyle, except that when I was watching Clone Wars with Isaac was like, I think Asajj Ventress is voiced by Great Lyle, and we looked it up and it wasn't. So fun crossover where two different characters were thought to be Great Lyle, but were actually Nika Futterman.
Yeah, hey, you can't prove that Nika Futterman doesn't sound like Great Lyle.
No.
You don't want to be late for basic braining.
Woohoo! Basic braining is the best class ever!
I didn't realize that I was like training to be a cop.
So nice, and he knows everything.
I found a loose Psy card. Collect 9 of these, and you can build a Psy challenge marker.
That's a PSI card. It's pounds per square inch.
Oh, okay. Need to get a
wait.
PSI card.
Wait. Hang on. That eye. That's just the main. That's just that monster from Monster Rancher.
It's actually Master Chief.
That's. No, that's Suezo.
That's Meister Chief.
Meister Chief. Yeah.
Your first arrowhead. Arrowheads are made from Psytanium, a rare psychoreactive mineral, which makes them very valuable. You can use arrowheads to buy items at the camp store and other places online.
Titanium is pretty funny.
The kid had just drank a 6-pack of soda, and so when the Coke shook him up, he exploded.
In the history of
What the fuck was that?
And by worse,
Did you hear the soda can thing?
Yeah.
because that's what I was thinking.
Some good incidental dialogue. Let's talk to
You know
this.
that cabin is empty, right?
Duh. I'm practicing for tonight when it's gonna be full of ladies.
That kind of
Gross.
thing takes practice.
Excuse me, but my parents let me watch R-rated movies, so I think I know a little bit more about this than you do, okay?
What a weird creep.
The Whispering Rockers.
What?
That's my band name idea. Hey, why aren't you guys in Coach Oleander's class?
Are you kidding? A kid got killed in that class last year.
I heard it was a bunch of kids, Phoebe.
Well, I heard it was a bunch of blind kids, and the coach threw them off a cliff.
Yeah, because they were late for class.
You'd better hurry, kid. Now, where were we, Quinn?
Hey, how's everybody tonight? You feeling itchy? I said you feeling itchy?
I am feeling itchy.
I'm usually feeling pretty itchy.
Okay, let's go to where we were actually gonna go, which was basic braining. I like this music.
Hey, where you going, Maloof?
Shh! I snuck out. That class is a death trap for crazy people. Listen, the coach
That's
is
exactly
strong.
where we want to
At the
be.
start of class, he pulls you into his mind, and then there's nothing you can do about it. But once you're in, you can use these smelling salts to sneak out. Take mine. I don't need them anymore. I'm calling my parents to come get me before I get hurt.
Too late!
Bobby! Ah!
Hey, kid! You owe me 5 arrowheads for this week's protection service.
Cough it up, my loser, or you'll be coughing up bloody tears. Hey, leave him alone.
I heard a rumor that you were raised in the circus. Well, let me put this in terms you'll understand. I'm the strong man around here.
Really? Because you look more like the cotton candy.
Got him.
Put this kid's death on my to-do list.
Destroyed.
Come on.
Murder in broad daylight.
Yeah, we'll settle this on the battlefield.
Your Gurnal is a great place to see what you've done so far.
Wait, sorry? How is that?
Your Gurnal is a great place to see what you've done so far.
Hang on. That's not how I know that word to be pronounced.
Which word?
Gurnal?
Gurnal? Oh yeah, where you like write your
I think
thoughts?
it's no, I think that's a journal.
I think it's a Gurnal. I've seen Wet Hot American Summer. I know how to pronounce Gurnal. It's a great place.
Well,
to
I
see.
haven't, so that must be the root of our.
You really haven't seen it? It's really good. It's one of my favorite movies.
Wait, I think maybe I caught the end of it one time or something. I don't know.
Paul Rudd pulls out a journal at some point, and someone's like, "What's that?" And he goes, "It's my Gurnal."
That honestly, that sounds like a riff on like the gerbil thing.
The gerbil?
Like someone went from gerbil to gerbil to like to somehow doing that with journal.
It just is in my head every time I see the word journal, and since we're at a summer camp, I decided to say Gurnal.
Yeah.
You can use it to save and load your progress, change your options, and there's a helpful map in the back. You know, video games.
They seem to all be in a trance while they astrally project themselves into the coach's psyche, which is awesome. They seem to all be in a trance while they astrally
Sometimes you go to the hospital and they put you on a gurney. Anything that happens on that is a gurnal event. Keith, press Y to talk.
Coach Oleander,
Keith, why aren't you
I'm
pressing
reporting for
Y to
basic
talk?
training.
Son, do you realize that to take my course, I will have to pull you into my mind, and you will have to relive every bullet-scarred memory of every battle I have ever faced. Won't be pretty. Are you sure you wouldn't rather run around a bit more in the sunshine first?
No, we're pretty sure that
ready.
there's. We're pretty sure we have to do this to progress the story.
You're late, soldier. Now get in here and give me 20.
What?
Does it count as psychic if you've got a door on your brain?
That's so funny.
I feel like it's cheating.
So, this is it. The mental world.
It looks like a dentist office.
A mental dentist office.
Dentist office.
Dentist office.
It's a recruiting office, kids, and I'm here to recruit you for the greatest job in the world, being a psychonaut. It's about fighting a war for mental freedom. Are you ready to face torture, insanity, and
Yes,
death?
obviously.
'Cause this is your last
Yeah, I'm a
chance to
kid.
chicken out.
Yeah, all of these
This
things.
is what childhood is
I'd
about.
like to chicken out, please.
Too late, soldier.
But you said...
There's only one way out of here. Fighting. I want one of you chickens to sock me square in the jaw. But I warn you, once you do, the war is on.
What?
I said pop me. Come on, that's what I'm talking about.
Got
Let's
him.
Go, go, go.
Oh, I gotta go. Yep.
What kind of obstacle course is this? That kid just got killed.
A mental obstacle course, you bleeding heart. He's not dead. His astral projection just got kicked out of my mind. And I'll kick your astral projection out
I'm
of here too
constantly
if you don't
watching
keep
A
moving
Mental
right
Ninja Warrior
now.
on TV, so I know all about this. Thank you. Do you have a double jump yet? There you go.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so I do remember going through this and being rather nonplussed by the experience.
It's just a figment of my imagination. You can run right through figments. They help you rank up, and when you rank up, you earn new psychic powers. So whenever you see a figment, suck it up, soldier. Come on, get that.
We're sucking it?
I've sucked my first figment. Suck 100 figment points. You'll be promoted. You can look at all the figments you've collected in your journal.
Yeah, piggy, piggy. Who's Coach's
Keith,
little
it's a
piggy?
journal.
Hey, what are you staring at? We all
Oh,
have
hey, it's a
emotional
brunk.
baggage, kid. Why
It's
don't
a
you
really
make yourself
sad
useful?
luggage brunk.
Sort some of it out while you're in here. Keep your eyes peeled for a tag that matches. Could be anywhere.
What does that mean?
I need the steamer trunk tag for this guy.
There it is. Now, you will pick up that tag and you will put it on that bag you just found. Unless you'd rather just drop and give me 20 right now.
I did it.
Woo!
I tagged the bag.
You did it. Oh, it's gone now.
Bye.
Dang, my bowels move more than you do, Pokey.
Oh.
Oh.
You hit that ladder hard, son. Show it who's boss.
I did it. I thought it wanted me to jump because of the way that guy looked. Another figment. Oh, that's a figment over
Okay.
there too. You see that?
My memory was that the figments were like the enemies or something. I just remember like, oh, these games have like 2D enemies or some bullshit.
No, they just seem to be
they're-
things you have to
They're,
collect.
yeah, they're just collectibles. Love these bushes made out of
Onward and upward, soldier.
I don't even know what those are called anymore. Ammo belts.
Ammo belts? It looks like barbed
Like-
wire to me.
No, go down, jump down. In front of that.
Oh,
rope
yeah,
and that
totally.
thing.
I didn't even notice that.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I was also put off by like the darkness and the dinginess of it all, which I think they're probably just going for this level because it's like the military guy. But
Is this the only level of this you've played?
pretty much, I think so. I think I played
Damn.
this level and was like, I'll come back to this, and then it's been like 15 years and I never came back to it.
I'm going to turn down the music volume a
Ooh.
little bit.
I feel like you should turn all of it up. Are you turning down the music to turn up the rest of it?
Kind of.
Oh, subtitles, yes. Subtitles, yes.
Okay, so I turned down the volume and then turned up the rest.
Fire down below.
I think that's a lot better.
Well, I'm sickened to my stomach by this grim and realistic portrayal of the hells of modern combat. So I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be back in a moment.
Okay, I'll get past this rocket. Looks like a
Looks
test.
like a test. There's probably a secret, more advanced route.
What's that supposed to mean?
By the way, for all the people who have subscribed on Twitch,
Sorry, what?
I know that it says your name when you subscribe and it shows a cut off zombie. I don't know why I can't fix that. Streamlabs doesn't let me fix it. It always does that no matter how many times I change it. I'm sorry. Although, reminder, if you're enjoying the show, you can go to contentburger.biz, subscribe to our Patreon.
Oh. Thanks for saving me.
Well, actually, I was saving this plant.
Never seen one so meaty before.
I have. It's been appearing in this creepy nightmare I keep having.
You're having nightmares? Oh, I've been reading about how to fix those. Will you let me see one?
No.
I mean, I'll just jump over. I don't care. Oh, no, I won't. So you're not actually supposed to do anything with that. You're just supposed to jump across it, huh? That looks like a figment, though. I want that. Oh, what? Well, here I am.
Onward and upward, soldier!
I'm doing it. All right. So I made it to here. I don't really know where here is. Like, was that right? Did I, like, do a good job?
Is your name Joey?
No.
Because I'm gonna call you Slowy Joey.
That's not my name.
What was that, Slowy? I can't hear ya. You're talking too slow.
It's not even funny. It's not even funny. It's not even my name.
Onward and upward, soldier.
So, supposed to be collecting these? I don't really get why. But I will. I have no reason not to. Oh, I missed one.
You'll have plenty of time to stand around when you're dead.
Oh, when I collect 100, my rank goes up. And a lot of times they're like,
Now that kind of wall, you can climb it up, down, sideways, whatever way you want.
they're like little tutorial pictures. Not all the
Like a
time.
monkey.
Hey, slow down, you kid. If you pass me
You'll
a
have
bottle,
plenty of time to stand around when
You know what this sequence reminds me of?
No.
The Giver.
Yeah?
Did you read
Why?
The Giver?
I did read The Giver in 4th grade.
You remember there's that scene where the kid has to like relive all the war memories? Remember that?
Vaguely.
Watch those minds, kid.
Yeah, I think I read that in 7th grade. I liked that book a lot. I should reread it and see what's going on in there.
Conservative propaganda.
Is it?
I think I remember learning that, yeah.
That just seems to have turned out to be every book that they were having kids read in high school. The idea, I didn't know what those books were at the time, but now knowing that there were other kids in my high school that were being made to read Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead,
Wait, really?
so unhinged to me.
They were?
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's normal.
Really? No. That can't be normal.
Yeah, the reason people know about those books is because they have you read them in high school.
That's totally unhinged.
I know it is. I think with The Fountainhead specifically, it's like, they use it as meant to be like a study in characterization, because that book is literally just about like, here's 5 different characters and what the narrative thinks about them as characters. But, you know, it's also just like the most absurd, like, conservative political drivel you've ever heard.
Hey, look! It's Raz!
Yay! Raz is here!
Yeah! Maybe you'll be able to beat this darn game. We can't do it.
Yeah, we're no good, and the coach won't open the gate until someone wins.
Yay, Raz! Just punch that to start.
Seems like a trick. You trying to trick me?
People, Juliet in the chat is bringing up Ayn Rand's Anthem as I think a book they read in school, or that other kids read in school. I hadn't heard of that book. I thought Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead were her 2 novels. I didn't know she had a 3rd novel. Or is Anthem nonfiction?
I don't know.
Juliet says Ayn Rand's Anthem is often paired with 1984 as a "isn't communism scary" thing.
Right, a crash course in anti-communism.
Oh, Hadimet's saying Anthem's like a novella. So it's just about distinctions. Yeah, I saw a YouTube video from somebody who was like, you know, in high school, I read The Fountainhead, and here's what our teacher taught us about it and what I took from it, and it was kind of the thing I said about, like, you know, about, like, characterization in novels, and it just, like, how does this book set about painting different pictures of these different characters? And he's like, and I just, you know, I thought all that stuff about how, about how a architect should be allowed to blow up a building other people built from because he doesn't like that they weren't authentic to his plans or something. And I think the guy making the video is like, I always interpreted that as just, you know, like a very heavy-handed metaphor, but then I grew up and learned Ayn Rand meant that extremely literally. I don't think I actually knew the plot of The Fountainhead until, like, the last year or so. And
to view this memory again, oh, I was supposed to view that memory. Great, let's view it.
So what are we doing now?
I'm trying to figure out how to view that memory that I got.
A memory.
I don't know how to...
Well, the figments aren't the memories. Those are figments. Is a memory maybe just a cutscene, and they were like, "Hey, you've got a cutscene in your library that you can watch if you want."
Oh, it's a slide. That's okay. So I couldn't figure out how to interact with it because I don't think it said the L and R thing, or at least I didn't see them. Okay, so he planted a flag. He led a charge. He's getting shot at, knife in his mouth. He rode a missile with a pistol, and he helped the little kids. And he was, what a hero he was.
One of my favorites.
But anyways, the Giver is about the idea that some people can hold past people's memories in their mind like they were their own memories, and even re-experience them as real events. And there's like the main character of the book is like,
well, it's remember that it is in a world where they are made to take pharmaceuticals that removes this ability and other abilities like hearing music and seeing color.
Oh, is it? I couldn't. Like I said, it's been so long. I couldn't remember if it was drugs that they were taking or if like people, if their DNA had literally changed or something. Okay, so maybe it's the idea that everyone can do this, but they're, you know, this was the main character of the book is who's chosen to maybe not receive the drugs that block this ability or whatever.
It's a thing you get chosen to become the next Giver.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, he walks in on his Giver mentor, who's like, I think they're like cowering in a corner, and it's because they're reliving these war memories, and the kid like relives them for them or something, and that's all. Just the idea of like going into someone else's head and being in a war. I was like, oh, this is like the Giver. Classic Zilch. Zilch is a great name for a shitty cartoon kid at a summer camp.
Yeah. I'm getting all of these figments. Never seen someone get as many figments as I get.
I literally haven't. gun. Pig. Go back and get that pig. Wait.
I can't go back.
What do you mean you can't? Oh.
You can grab poles like that and swing on them. It's all about upper body strength, you know?
I love upper body strength. Well, which button do I hit? To
Juliet in the chat says, I think instead of reading The Giver, we should assign high schoolers to read The Cherry Orchard.
I don't know it.
I don't know it. Juliet says, I'm a big believer in starting a semester of Econ 101 for undergrads with The Cherry Orchard. And it's not like undergrads and high schoolers have a significantly different reading levels. No, they definitely don't. Garglestone asks for a moment of silence for Pig. Robodendron says, I never want to remember that pig.
Sorry, you must not have heard. I'm trying to give a moment of silence for Pig.
I thought we did give him a
Oh, I guess maybe I was saying it a little more seriously. Maybe you want to do a little bit longer of a moment.
Yeah, no, I think Robodendron just kind of opened my eyes to different ways of thinking about the pig. And so now I'm like, whoa, what if we don't have to give a moment of silence for the pig?
Where am I going now?
Where are you going?
Oh, is this? Yeah. Okay. Right there.
Right there, boy. That's a mental cobweb. You can collect them with a specialized piece of equipment.
On the Nintendo stream, they're playing Monster Hunter Stories 2. Someone's riding a raptor.
I want to do it now.
It's game day, kid.
Mount the tightrope.
Guess I don't understand.
What happens when you push A? Okay.
There we go. It didn't work the first time. I guess maybe I pushed it at the wrong time.
What about that figment? That purple one on the ground?
No, that's a mental cobweb. I can't do anything with it.
Oh, of course, a mental cobweb.
January with crutches.
Hey, that's not my fault. That's depth perception did that one to me.
I've been playing WoW Classic.
Oh yeah? How's that?
Yeah. I've been having a good time with it. I like that game. That's all. I guess if anybody's gonna be doing raiding in Burning Crusade Classic, let me know, because I want to do it.
Yeah, I unfortunately will not be doing that.
Yeah, I know.
No!
Oh.
Damn. It really felt like that's what I was supposed to be doing.
Oh, the other thing, I logged into regular WoW, and I learned that they did...
Explain to me the difference between regular WoW and WoW Classic.
Okay, so regular WoW is on its like 8th expansion, and the game has, you know, changed and had a lot of additions over the years. And WoW Classic was they re-released the original version of World of Warcraft as a separate own thing. And now there's a third separate one, which is original WoW with the first expansion. That first expansion essentially just got re-released like a week or two ago. Because like the way it would happen is like the expansions would all stack new content upon the game, but you know, because there's so much of I guess we'll listen to what they're saying. Sorry,
I missed
talked
it.
over it. My bad.
It's okay.
Anyways,
I'm definitely supposed to do something.
Really, in any MMO, you're always focusing on the newest content, and in WoW specifically, and in many MMOs, there's a lot of content in those games that are made around being played at a level cap. Like there's tons and tons of content at level 70, but that doesn't make any sense to do any of that content in a game where you're up to level 110 or something. It's kind of hard to explain without getting into the boring and uninteresting details of like gear and stuff in the game, but I think it's kind of like Burning Crusade in a sense has always been playable ever since it came out, but in another sense, it really only existed for the 2 years until they put out the next expansion after that. So it's kind of like this game is being re-released for the first time since like 2008 in a sense, which is it's an interesting thing.
So basically what you're saying is that Burning Crusade only makes sense to play if you're at the original level cap that it was designed to handle.
Basically, yeah. And ever since then, it's just been like you ignore the high end, like the idea is like the expansion gets released and it has a bunch of content that lets you level from level 60 to level 70, and then after that they start adding more and more raids, but like each one is like a progressive step up in difficulty. Like in order to even take your character into raid number 2, you have to have played raid number 1 a bunch of times and gotten all the good gear from that one to even stand a chance in raid number 2, and then so on and so forth for raid 3 and raid 4. But like it makes no sense to spend the time going from raid 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 in Burning Crusade when your character can just do all the regular leveling content in the expansions that came out after Burning Crusade instead. And also they've made a lot of mechanical changes to like the nuts and bolts of how the game operates over the years. And so this is like taking it back to the old stuff. Oh, you're doing a Sonic Adventure 2 Shadow the Hedgehog rail grind here.
Oh, okay. So these aren't figments. Those are hurting me.
This is hot as hell. Hotter than hell, some might say. Nice.
I'm the winner.
Well done.
I think that's it. I think it's the end of the level. Oh, no.
Oh.
This is a long level.
The longo.
You have that heartbeat? Ah, yes.
Oh, no.
The old rolling tunnel of crazy logs bit, I think is what he said. Why is this guy so adversarial? Doesn't he want us to succeed?
I think it's really funny. Well, Keith, how can you ever become a true Psychonaut if you're not pushed to the absolute limits of your ability? Anyways, the thing they did in regular ass WoW recently with the release of their like 8th expansion or whatever it is they did a level squish.
What do you mean?
I used to have like a level 95 character and the cap had gotten up to 110 or 120. And now they squished everything back down, so all of the content in the game is only 1 to 60. And my level 95 character became a level 37 character.
Whoa. Guess I'm early.
And my knee-jerk reaction to this was to take great offense. Because in a game that's mostly about making numbers go up, to make those numbers go down, to me, is insulting.
It's an insult.
But what they ended up doing was like, up until that point, all the content had kind of been arranged in a somewhat linear fashion. Like, this is the level 60 content, this is the 70, this is the 80. And they squished everything down, so now, if you level up a character, you don't have to play through every expansion. You can pick, like, 2, and that'll get you to the level cap.
Sorry
That
about
sounds
that.
good.
Didn't think you'd get to the end so fast. Dang, I didn't think you'd get to the end at all. You surprised me out there, kid. Here, you earned this.
I really thought I was gonna murder you for sure.
I got a merit
Well
badge.
done. Yay! Wow.
But I'm always glad to see a soldier come back from the field alive. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go back in. I left some good men back there.
That's kind of funny.
Way to make us look bad in there. You're in trouble now. Bobby Zilch ain't happy. You better watch yourself, Gogglelicious.
What's that, hair boy? You want a piece of me?
Hey, Brainiacs, settle down.
Why? You worried I'm gonna hurt your boyfriend?
No, because Sasha 9 is standing right behind you.
Your performance, young cadet, was outstanding. I'd like you to report to my lab for some advanced training.
Ooh, Raz the Spaz is gonna be in a special class. Benny, remind me to give him a special beating later, okay?
These tests are unauthorized, though, so I can't actually ask you to come. But if you happen to drop in, well, what could I do? Let me just give you this. Remember, your talent will always set you apart, Rasputin. Sometimes isolation is a good thing. It can lead to important discoveries.
Wait! I don't even know what your lab is! Is this some kind of test?
Sometimes isolation is a good thing. It can lead to important discoveries.
And now I'm hearing things. Great.
I wonder why this game has so much pre-rendered video of in-engine cutscenes.
I wonder if it's just easier to do for some reason.
Yeah.
Or they just thought it was like an aesthetically easier thing to do, or like a more cohesive thing to do than doing pre-rendered out of engine. Look at all these things I'm getting. I'm collectibling.
It could have been a game size issue, but I don't know. Maybe they were having trouble getting the cutscenes to run at consistent frame rates.
Could be.
This seems cool though. I would play this.
Yeah.
I mean, I had just been both playing and watching a lot of the original Banjo-Kazooie.
Like a
And
secret. So I,
mean,
don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm
Banjo-Kazooie's
going. Obviously, I
probably
never
more
played this
fun than
before,
this,
but it does. Sorry, what?
I was gonna say, Banjo-Kazooie is probably a little more fun than this game, but probably not dramatically. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying that they told me, Sasha told me to find the lab, and that it's good to be in isolation.
No, I don't want to lose this button. This is the button that Sasha gave me. This is the button. This is the button.
That's probably a good time to wrap up, though, I would say.
But what if I found really easily by accident the place I'm supposed to go?
All right, I guess we'll just have to see if you
If I
find
didn't,
that place.
If I didn't find it, if this isn't it. Ooh, what's that?
No, I don't want to lose this button. I might not get into Sasha's secret. It looks like it's completely frozen in a big block of ice. Frozen solid. No, I don't want to lose this button.
Okay.
I might not get frozen solid.
Okay, well that's not it. So then I guess we can go.
On sale now in the main store, we have a special on dreams.
All right, well, thank you everybody for watching.
Good for you. Keep a pocket full of
Hey,
for a quick boost up.
let us know in the comments, what's your favorite thing out of E3? Did you like Jeff Keighley's Hot Game Summer?
Do you think Jeff Keighley is a snooze?
Tell us what you think about Jeff Keighley, and tell us what you think about who won E3 this year.
Yeah, was it Sony or Xbox?
Was it the gamers?
Did the gamers win?
Was it marketing engagements?
Go to contentburger.biz to subscribe to our Patreon.
Is there a real E3 this year?
No. Yes. I don't know. What is real?
Is there a show floor? I don't know.
No, there's not.
Contentburger.biz.